said the barn and its contents are a total loss. The charges a well-known conductor and composer arrested last week in Indianapolis is now facing. Jake McDaniel reports.
Julian Walkner has been charged with possessing child abuse material and cocaine. Court documents say Walkner confessed to using cryptocurrency on the dark web for several years to purchase child porn. The investigation started when a finance company called Robinhood flagged his suspicious transactions. Police say they recovered evidence from his laptop and also found a stash of cocaine. Marion County prosecutor Ryan Mears said on Tuesday that his office is committed to prosecuting the case. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas prices going back up this week. The state average now $3.38 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy, and Indianapolis gas is $3.42. A dominating victory for the Indiana Fever last night. Winners 95-75 over the Seattle Storm. Head coach Stephanie Wyatt on what was working.
Our attention to detail was better. Our activity level was really good. Our ability to finish plays, not give them multiple opportunities was really good, and that allowed us to get out in transition.
Aaliyah Boston led the Fever in scoring with 27 points. Newcomer Odyssey Sims added 22. The team will head out west to L.A. on Friday. And the Keeper of Culture series is unveiling a new mural in Indianapolis. From local artist William Minion, the mural, located on the side of the XG Groom Room Barbershop, is of none other than Pacer star Tyrese Halliburton.
We had our first muralist pass the torch to our third muralist. They have a bit of an age gap, so the wisdom that is instilled one upon the other is what we want to continue.
Butterfine Art Fair director Deanna Craig told Wish TV at the unveiling Tuesday that it's the third mural in the series. Their fair begins Thursday and runs through Sunday. Now a check of the roads. Good morning, Matt Baer.
What's happening, Jared? Looking at the east side, westbound 72, southbound 465. That ramp is closed because of a rolled semi-trailer. Continuing on westbound 70, stop-and-go traffic, Emerson Avenue into the North Split. We have two problems approaching the North Split. First, a crash between Rural Street and the Split. That's going to block the right shoulder. And then we have a stall at the end of the ramp from westbound 72, northbound 65. It's in the Gore Point where the interstates merge. South side, northbound 65, delayed 6 minutes. Keystone up to the South Split. And then, looking at the north side, inbound 69 slows from 106th Street to 82nd. 4-minute delay. Also a crash reported southbound 69 at 106, blocking the right shoulder. No delay there. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies with nationwide LTE coverage. For a limited time, get 60% off and free UPS shipping at rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is zero and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Beautiful day on tap, mostly sunny, still well below average temperatures. Today's high 75, mostly clear to partly cloudy overnight, not as chilly, lows into the mid-50s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. It's 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Nothing matters, and what if it did?
The rules are made up, Rob.
Nothing matters, and what if it did? It's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. So there was a famous Mellencamp album in the early 1980s, and I think the title of it was Nothing Mattered, Nothing Matters, and What If It Did?
Yeah.
And I think, what was it, Ain't Even Done With the Night was the big single that came out of that
nice one.
album. And that's basically where we're at in our society, because yesterday, a whole bunch of these Indiana lawmakers went to Washington.
Correct.
And we were told they weren't going to talk about redistricting, but clearly
Wasn't on the agenda.
redistricting
Was talked about.
came up. So strike number one with dishonesty.
Yeah.
And I was laughing to myself because multiple of these lawmakers went out of their way to point out, hey, we paid for this trip ourselves.
Good for them. They were being transparent about it. Actually, Kyle Pierce, he actually put his receipt up online.
Yeah. But let's stop for a second. And it's just us, two cackling hens. If this show didn't exist, if we didn't exist, think about the money we just saved the taxpayers yesterday. Now, I don't know if every one of these guys paid for it themselves. By the way, Andrew Ireland, who did pay for his own trip, is going to be with us tomorrow. He's bringing his receipts.
Good.
Andrew's going to show Diego.
They should just line up outside the studio one by one and come in and show the receipts.
Andrew is going to show Diego how easy it is. Diego Morales, the Indiana Secretary of State, who will not show proof that he paid for his trip to India, how easy it actually is to show proof you paid for something. He's going to bring his credit card statement and the receipts to match to show. But you know that the people who are paying, many of them, they're doing so because they knew we were going to talk about it. They know how relentless we have been on Diego. And yet, I was checking because there's so many people that label us to be the bad guy every single day. There's so many people that want to paint us as we have no power over anybody. We can't do anything.
Right.
We can't raise or lower anyone's taxes. We can't raise or lower anyone's utility bills.
We can't even force this broadcast into your ears.
No, you could. Your whole consumption of us. On the internet, on the radio, on anywhere, is by choice. And yet, in some people's minds, we are the public enemy number one. And all we do is advocate for you, the consumer. And all we do is try to save you, the consumer, money. Like, literally everything we do here is about your government being better and more accountable to you and your government saving you money. And if we didn't exist, that a bunch of these people would have been putting this thing on the taxpayer expense. So these people but we're the bad guys. We're always the worst, and it's always our fault, and blah, blah, blah. But these guys went to Washington yesterday, and it wasn't a conversation about how to make your utility bills more affordable.
No,
there wasn't
I don't think that was even on the agenda.
Conversation about how the 20-30% annual increases, you're seeing how to stop that and make sure you can afford to heat and light your homes. It wasn't a conversation about the property taxes that have been, doubling and tripling for people over the past 5 years. It wasn't a conversation with the president's people about how to do that. Wasn't a conversation about the out-of-control gas tax, about how we can't even fix our roads despite having one of the nation's highest gas taxes. It wasn't about how to avoid tolling that's really going to, hurt people. The conversation, clearly a big part of it, based on the admission of these lawmakers themselves, despite us being told that it wasn't going to be this, was about redistricting. Like, do you think they sent these people to Washington because Vance was going to be wowed by Jim Lucas's charm and charisma? And coming out of the meeting, what did you see? You saw, we called it. Did we call it?
Waffling.
We called it on Jim Lucas. Did we say he will go into the White House and he will come out and he will flip-flop on his stance on redistricting, and boy howdy, what happened?
And even days before they went, I was texting you and I was like, wait, did Jim Lucas flip-flop? Did he switch his position? And you were asking, did he? Why? Did he put something out? And I actually looked. I investigated. No, he didn't. He was solid. He was saying no. He was a hard no on redistricting. And he stuck to that.
But I told you. Did I not tell you? I said, look, I told Casey, she's backing me up on this. I can't even remember I said it on air or we said it off air. I said, he's going to go into that meeting and he's going to come out and he's going to flip. He's going to flip. And what happened?
He originally opposed redistricting.
No, just opposed, like adamantly. Like he was writing.
He was a hard no.
He was
all
writing.
caps.
He was writing the Great Gatsby posts about, linked posts about how he was opposed to redistricting. And what happened?
He left the meeting and said he is now softening. He said, "There's food for thought.
Yeah,
I'm not as opposed to it as I was."
So this is the thing, right? this redistricting, I always talk about pulling the mask back. And this redistricting is pulling the mask back on who these people are in this entire process, which is they're dishonest, they're weak. See Craig Haggard, who did the same thing Lucas is in the process of doing. Don't worry, Jim will get to the end. Jim is just working himself through the process. Craig Haggard just went from start to finish in one process, in
Very
one
quickly.
fell
Sure.
swoop, right? These people are dishonest, they're deceitful, they lie. And even those who don't do it deliberately, they're brutally weak. They have no backbone whatsoever.
He said there's more questions that need to be answered.
What's changed?
Before supporting action, however, he's softened
What's
on
changed?
it.
The state of Indiana hasn't changed, period. Right? Like we've seen 1% population growth. The state has voted 58% Republican in the last election, where 78% of the congressional districts are Republican. 70% of the state house seats are Republican. 80% of the Senate seats are Republican. The state is already gerrymandered. The state is already rigged in favor of the Republicans. If we're going to go by, well, the so-and-so, I hear these people, well, we're an all-Republican state. Okay, if we're going to play that game, then why don't we just say, however you vote for president, all your congressional districts just go to that person? I mean, you think about currently what my buddy Steve posted this yesterday, that something like Trump got 49.8% of the vote or something like that, and Congress is 50.3 or some number like that. It's already a representation of the country. The country is evenly divided. Indiana is a 58% Republican state, but 78% of the congressional seats, 70% of the House seats, 80%. Don't act like we didn't already do this. Don't look at Illinois and go, well, you did it too. Your state's just not as big. You don't have as many people. You don't have as many congressional seats. So you can't rig the system the way Illinois did. But we do it too. So it comes back to nothing matters and what if it did. These people, their word doesn't matter. Honesty doesn't matter. They can't even give you an honest assessment of what they're going to talk about. That's how dishonest these people are. Like, and if you're so willing to allow these people to behave like this because of some cause you support, what does one more squish Republican? What does one more Jefferson Shreve? What does one more Greg Pence?
What's that do for you?
What does Rudy Yakum? What does that do for your life? How does that help you? And are you willing to allow these people to repeatedly behave in deceitful, dishonest, deceptive manners so you get one more Jefferson Shreve? Is that all your life means to you? Is that all holding someone accountable means to you, is one more Jefferson Shreve?
So some of the things they discussed were education reform, border security, illegal immigration, and welfare fraud. Of course, redistricting did come up, even though it wasn't on the agenda. J.D. Vance attended the part of the meeting, discussed this with them. Donald Trump was not present.
No,
by the way.
Time out. We got to talk about the welfare fraud thing. Let's take a break because
Okay.
that is infuriating. That is infuriating, given what these people, and by these people, I'm talking about Trump and the Republicans and Holcomb and the Republicans did in this state 5 years ago. That is infuriating to me that they would have the audacity to talk about that.
We also have to talk about some of the other states that are jumping on the redistricting bandwagon, and also the greatest question of all, that if the congressional map needs a redraw,
That's right.
what about the state legislative?
That's right. They don't want any part of that, do they? They like the way it looks right now for them, don't they?
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the morning news. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. You can can say goodbye to cracked, stained, and dirty old floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out the color. Upgrade your home today by calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. And they come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. The phone number, 877-417-0635. You can find them online, too. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
Do you suffer from sore feet, back, knee, or hip pain? The Good Feet Arch Support System has helped many people find relief, like Tim.
I'm always telling my colleagues who have sore feet, this is the greatest thing. I'll even take my shoe off and show them. And I believe in the product so much. When you have something that works, you kind of want to share it with people. It worked for me, maybe it can work for you.
Or do you wake up at night with heel pain, like Crystal?
I would wake up in the middle of the night with all kinds of pain in my heels and in my arch. So I went to the Good Feet store. And ever since then, I've been pain-free. I wear them every day. I wear them when I walk, at the gym, when I work. They're great.
Get back to walking, working, and exercising, and imagine a life without pain. No shots, no surgery, no medication. You've got nothing to lose but your pain. Stop into the Good Feet store today for a free fitting and test walk. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood, just off the 65.
Thanks to the Good Feet store. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with a free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, is dedicated to quality and fine craftsmanship. Let them help you celebrate that special moment in your life. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Nothing matters, and what if it did? Nothing matters, and what if it did? That's our theme of our show today. It's a Kendall and Casey show, and Rob Casey's here. Look, we spend a ton of time, are spending a ton of time on this redistricting thing because it touches so many areas of everything we talk about on this program every single day. And you can see it. And when events take place where you can see all the stuff, if you'll just look at it, all you have to do is look and look past what's right in front of you and see what's actually going on. We're going to spend a lot of time on that. And this redistricting thing touches so many boxes of why our country and why our state and why our communities are in the shape that they're in. And it starts with the dishonest, deceptive, deceitful behavior from these lawmakers. And you said something last segment that we have to touch on, which is one of the things that they were supposedly talking about was welfare reform. Mm-hmm. So you have the Indiana Republican Party going to Washington, D.C., or the Indiana General Assembly, the Indiana Republican Party. There were no Democrats on this trip, as far as I know. Which, by the way, why was Micah's chief of staff on this trip? He doesn't have any responsibility. And by the way, did she pay for her own trip too? I'd love to see that and where's he? Why didn't he go?
Where is the lieutenant governor?
Yeah, what was he doing that he sent the chief of staff? And he doesn't have any authority anyway. What was she? She has even less authority than he does.
This from WIBC.com. Sherry Ellis, Chief of Staff for the Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith, said redistricting is not on the agenda. Beckwith is not in Washington, but Ellis is attending along with some lawmakers and Trump cabinet members.
Now, I want to know where
she went in his place.
Well, I want to know where Mike is because we haven't seen a photo op from him at a candy store or Pizza King in like 3 days. And that is very unusual that he doesn't let everybody know how valuable he is to you at some private industry. So I'm very curious, and I didn't see some big announcement about that he was going somewhere or having some big thing going on. So I'd love to know where he's at and what he's doing that has left him dark. At least last time we went through this, a statewide office holder ended up in a foreign country. So I don't know, maybe he's in a foreign country.
Is he?
I don't know.
In
That's
a
what I'm
foreign
asking
country?
you. Point is, so let's go back to the welfare, welfare reform. So these are the same group of people, the Indiana Republican Party, who controls everything in Indiana, and Donald Trump and the Republicans, who in 2020 printed $5 trillion. $5 trillion, which, by the way, you're still paying for today. You're still paying for that today in the price of everything. And it has come out that in that $5 trillion, first of all, a whole bunch of it went to things that ended up being just blatant fraud. Just hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars went to people who were scheming and scamming the system. And that happened here in the state of Indiana, and it happened across the country. And we also know that a whole bunch of that money went for the governor, Holcomb, to declare open season on basically anyone and everyone applying to get on the Medicaid rolls, which were littered with waste, fraud, and abuse, which is so obvious that they've kicked thousands of people off here over the past year because all these people who can get up and walk and lift and go to work weren't doing so. But these same people who were accountable, both here in the state of Indiana, across this country, for hundreds of billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. Now they're going to have a meeting about waste, fraud, and abuse when it comes to welfare, Medicare, Medicaid, all of this stuff. Now they're very concerned about it.
Yeah. So you've got a couple other states that are now joining in with this redistricting conversation. Trump announced that Missouri is in, and the GOP aims to eliminate one or two Democratic districts. Their governor, Mike Kehoe, he's considering a special session, hasn't committed to it, kind of like the governor here. I wonder if Governor Braun, when he comes on with Hammer and Nigel this afternoon, if he'll
Is he going to be on with them this afternoon?
He's supposed to be.
Oh, how exciting.
We'll see.
Well, I'd just like to know why they're having the meeting now about waste, fraud, and abuse, when the time to have the meeting about waste, fraud, and abuse
was before they printed all the money?
Yeah, when you printed $5 trillion and gave it to a bunch of people who for 5 years have engaged in waste, fraud, and abuse. Like, again, that's why this whole redistricting thing is so important, because it's all the stuff. It's how completely disingenuous these people are. They couldn't even be honest with you about what they're meeting with. We talked about how there are these lawmakers coming out, we're not talking about redistricting. And then clearly they talked about redistricting.
Yeah, J.D. Vance popped in. Let's have a conversation. In Maryland, the governor, Wes Moore, he's considering redistricting to counter, of course, what the GOP is doing.
We are admitting, and this is why people don't participate in the electoral process. We are telling you, we're looking you right in the eye and saying, not only does your vote not matter, our word doesn't matter. None of this is all dinner theater. Why even participate? Everything is decided before we ever even come out and tell you what we're voting on. Look at the changes. Just look at our own legislative system here. Look at the changes at the end of the legislative session that happened in the dead of night without any debate or discussion or testimony. Things like
school systems closing.
Totally changing the structure of how Indiana University operates. Like, none of these things are debated, discussed, talked about, no testimony, no nothing. They just did it.
Yeah.
They're telling you. And we are to blame for this because we keep reelecting the same people. We keep going to these events and shaking their hands and taking photos with them and acting like they're somebody worthy of our time. we don't hold these people accountable. We don't step up and do what needs to be done. And so naturally, if you have thieves and underhanded, dirty, rotten people, and you keep giving them the keys to the castle and going, thank you, sir, may I have another, they're going to keep doing the thing.
Now, you have said that Houston and Bray have indicated they're not on board with the redistricting because it would just be a big hassle for them, one big headache they'd have to deal with. Well, it's been reported that Trump met privately with them in the Oval Office, and they talked about redistricting. But Jim Lucas said that there was no strong arming involved.
So you go from a definitive, like repeatedly, the guy made a definitive statement repeatedly, no new information. You're a state legislator. You have way more info on your state than J.D. Vance does. So it's not like there's any new information that was presented to any of these people. But it's a pattern of behavior because don't forget, Jim Lucas is the same guy. And again, redistricting is putting all of this back in full display for everybody. Jim Lucas is the same dirty, disrotten dude, Jim Lucas, who drove drunk, blew through a barricade, crashed his car, instead of being honest and staying around, fled the scene, tried to hide his car, and then got cute with the cops when they caught up to him. That's who Jim Lucas is. So why would we think if he won't be honest, if he tries to hide and run from accountability on crashing his car during a DUI or OWI, that his word would mean anything on anything else? Oh, and by the way, what happened to Jim Lucas after that? Nothing. Nothing, because not only do we not hold him accountable, but the Republicans, because he agreed to be a good boy going forward, they gave him $50,000 to save his reelection. So, of course, he's not going to do what's right for you.
He's more open-minded now.
Because, yes, he's open-minded to whoever will keep him in office. But we have no one but ourselves to blame because we keep reelecting these people.
Jim Merritt is going to join us next. You're listening to 93 WIBC.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and the August flash sale is on. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off duct cleaning. Now, when was the last time you gave your carpets some love? Listen, they are the largest air filter in your home, and unless those carpets are cleaned on a regular basis, the stuff that's in the fibers can be downright scary. There's a good chance you're breathing unhealthy levels of germs, dirt, dander, bacteria that just keep recirculating again and again. Well, with the Zero Res August flash sale, all of that can be history. And with their great gotta love it guarantee, they're going to make sure your investment with them is a great experience. The Zero Res service is easy to line up. Just go online at zeroresindy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Mention WIBC, you'll get 3 rooms cleaning starting at $119. $119 plus a free hallway and $75 off duct cleaning. It's the Zero Res August flash sale, 317-388-5141, online at zeroresindy.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
In response to an investigation surrounding Jack Smith. Sunny and 62 in the Circle City. Highs in the mid-70s this afternoon. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 9:30. The lawyer for the man who prosecuted President Trump is responding to an investigation into his client.
In a letter to the Office of Special Counsel, Jack Smith's attorneys call the allegations wholly without merit. It comes in response to reports of the Independent Watchdog Office launching an investigation into Smith's handling of the election interference and classified documents cases against President Trump. Republican Senator Tom Cotton alleges Smith tried to interfere with the 2024 election with his prosecutions. Smith's lawyers argue the former Justice Department special counsel's actions were consistent with the decisions of a prosecutor who has devoted his career to following the facts and the law.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz reporting. President Trump's 50% tariff on Indian exports goes into effect today, several weeks after the U.S. added a 25% tariff over India's purchases of Russian oil and weapons. But India is vowing to retaliate, with their foreign minister saying the U.S. should not buy from India if they don't like them buying Russian oil and weapons. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Fox Business This Morning's with Maria.
India is the world's largest democracy. U.S. is the world's largest economy. I think at the end of the day, we will come together.
Bessent has previously accused India of exploiting the war in Ukraine by purchasing cheap Russian oil. As Republican-led states are considering their own efforts to follow in Texas's footsteps and redraw their congressional maps, giving Republicans an advantage in the midterm elections. About 50 Indiana Republican state lawmakers met with the Trump administration in Washington on Tuesday. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. Stocks, little change. The Dow is down 33 points to 45,418. The S&P 500 down just 7 points to 6,465. And the NASDAQ also in the red, 40 points to 23,525. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call Texas 321 now at 800-808-9443. 800-808-9443. That's 800-808-9443.
I've been working real hard trying to get my hands clean. We'll drive that dusty road from Mondo to Angeline.
So the legislature went to Washington and, well, it appears minds might have been changed. Isn't that funny how that works? And we called it. It's the Kendall and Casey show. Rob Casey's here. Look who it is.
Robert.
30 years in the Indiana Senate. He knows a thing or two about redistricting. The great Jim Merritt. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, so our old pal Jim Lucas. Yes, you know him, State Representative Seymour, best known as the guy who drove drunk, blew through the barricade, fled the scene, tried to hide his car, got cute with the cops, and for all of that, then the Republicans put a bunch of money behind him to help him get reelected. He came out and that summarizes Jim Lucas pretty well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Jim never met a controversy he didn't like.
Yeah, and apparently now changing his... Homer Simpson once said, some people never change or quickly change and then quickly change right back. And I think that's what we're seeing with these lawmakers who... We saw this Craig Haggard, who came out and said the maps are fine.
Oh, yeah.
I think he said beautiful at one point, if I recall. And then changed his mind on the redistricting. And now Jim Lucas, who was very adamant that the maps were fine... He went to Washington, D.C. yesterday, and he came out singing a different tune than he went in with.
Well, yeah, and it was drastic because if you recall, Representative Lucas's comment was, there is, and I'm paraphrasing here, there is no reason in the world why we should redistrict congressional maps. And he went on and on and on about it. And so did Representative Craig Haggard.
On this radio program.
This radio station.
And other places.
It's
they've both flipped. And
well, we don't know if Lucas has flipped yet, right? Like he's open to it now, but the statements seem pretty definitive before.
Very definitive, and let's call it what it actually is. He's flipped because he's changed his mind. He was drastically against it. Now he's kind of for it, but that's getting into the realm of he will be for it.
So a couple things on this. One, I talked about the State House happenings. John Mellencamp had an album called, I think it was called Nothing Matters and What If It Did. And this is our government now, where these people just say anything. There was a time, back me up on this, like if you made definitive statements, there was a time where if you made a definitive statement and then you tried to backpedal out of it, you'd have been mortified, you'd have been ridiculed. And now people are just like, whatever. Yeah, so we got lied to. Yeah, it's part of the course.
It's the idea of the 6-minute media cycle, of which there are 10 in an hour. And what these individuals who came out and said no, 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 and now they're saying yes, 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 they don't worry about what they said in the past. And there's really just no...
And that's the thing. We are the last bastion of integrity in government here, Merritt. And this is what I keep telling people is you are seeing how rotten your government is. And if you're one of these people that wants to mental pretzel yourself, that somehow getting an extra rep in the region, Republican rep in the region is going to make your life better, okay. But this should all bother you because the government is admitting to you, these people are admitting to you, our word doesn't matter, the truth doesn't matter, honesty doesn't matter, integrity doesn't matter. I mean, they've been at this for weeks now, and they can't even come up with a good lie on why they're doing redistricting. They're just doing it for politics.
Well, and on Twitter or X, you called Lucas a fraud.
He is a fraud.
And what an individual like that is relying on is the fact that you're not listening. You're more interested in your pocketbook. You're more interested in your kids doing their homework. You're more interested in, getting through our lives today and leaving whatever happens at the legislature or in Congress to someone else. And you're kind of ignoring the process. And that's what individuals in government are doing today is they see that there's not there's an enormous turnout at the polls other than presidential elections, and 2026 is far away, and the state convention is far away, and they realize and they think that you're not paying any attention.
But we keep giving them reasons to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
That is what we're here for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's deceptive, dishonest behavior. And it's another example of this from Lucas. But look at what happened. After his little incident with, driving drunk and blowing through the barricade and fleeing the scene and hiding the car and getting cute with the cops, what happened to him? He became a good boy. He did what he was told, and the party put a bunch of money and reelected him. So what the message we as the voters send, we are doing this, is to Craig Haggard, to Jim Lucas, the party matters more. The money of the party matters more. The power brokers matter more. We'll do whatever we're told as voters. So just listen to them. Don't listen to us. Don't treat us with the respect and dignity that we deserve. Although if we don't demand it, then we don't deserve it. And this is what you're seeing. You can be like, I don't think anybody's going to doubt my conservative credentials.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have enough integrity to say good government matters. Honest government matters. The maps are all, back me up on this. The maps are already rigged in favor of the Republicans in the state.
Yes.
We act like this isn't happening here.
Right.
It should be 6-3 if they drew the maps, honestly, based on how that 5th district was changing.
However, in 2021, when they drew these district maps up, these members of Congress, there were no lawsuits against them. And they just had a fresh census in 2021, and everybody agreed on these maps. And so that tells you something, because there's usually lawsuits coming out the ears on congressional maps when they're redrawn every 10 years.
So
but that didn't happen.
Then that's what this is about for me, is saying it's 7-2, which is already more Republican than the state actually is. I mean, like, we're going to have Andrew Ireland on tomorrow, and give Ireland credit. He's one of the few guys who came out from the beginning and just said, here's what I think, and, it is what it is. By the way, he's bringing his receipts to show that he paid for the trip, since Diego can't figure out how to do this.
Yeah, everybody needs to know that all the, there's a tweet that showed a lot of people from the legislature leaving the White House or Congress, and Representative Kyle Pierce tweeted a picture of his credit card that he paid for the trip.
Yeah, now Ireland's going to actually bring the receipts. He's going to show Diego Morales, Secretary of State, of how this actually works to show that you paid for something. And I don't know if all these guys paid for their own trips. By the way, if they did, you can thank the Kendall and Casey show for that. You think if we didn't exist, all these dudes wouldn't be putting things on the taxpayer? Get out of here. So we done more good if indeed that happened that way, that all these guys paid. Now, I don't know. We'll find out whether some of them sourced it to the state or not. But again, it's just so depressing that this isn't even about whether I agree with somebody on policy or not. This is dishonest, deceptive behavior, and you've got guys saying one thing, and then what? You go to one meeting with J.D. Vance, and suddenly, oh, well, all these things that I knew to be true before, I just didn't see all these other things.
I want to bring up a sore point.
Yes.
Property taxes.
That's our whole show, is a sore point.
Yeah. When legislators are confronted with a very complicated issue, a controversial issue, they bang on the fact that it is complicated, that it is not understood in the neighborhoods, and that their elected representatives or elected senators will figure it out. And it's the same thing with this redistricting situation. What most legislators should have done was, if we're called into special session, we'll vote on it. Leave it to Representative Speaker Houston. Leave it to Senator Bray. But a lot of them got on that limb, like Representative Lucas, and said, we shouldn't do it. And now they're saying, well, maybe we should.
Jim Merritt, our guest, a couple of minutes left with him. So there's this poll out. We talked about it yesterday that showed, I believe Change Research is the name of the company that did the poll. It showed overwhelmingly, it was 54% opposed, or 52% opposed, 34% in favor, that the public did not want this. Now, I think they're a bit of a left-leaning pollster. But there was one thing in the poll that gave me some, I think this is probably where most people are. It said about 60% of respondents rated inflation among their top three priorities. Only 7% said redrawing the legislative maps. Now, that, I think, is probably pretty accurate. People are like, living is unaffordable. Property taxes are out of control. Utility bills are out of control. The gas tax stuff is ridiculous. Why don't you guys work on that instead of this just uber political function? Do something that helps us.
In any poll you take, if it has an economic question on it, people will default to that because that is their livelihood. That is their life. That is their kids' future. And they just don't care about this in the background of this small issue of redistricting, but it's still a part of, it's legal. They can do it, but they don't know enough about it, and it's too complicated, and they would much rather be able to pay for their groceries.
The thing I do know, and it's not complicated, is people can find you on Twitter at Jim_Merritt. Merritt in the Morning is the podcast. YouTube as well as Facebook. Jim Merritt, thank you.
Robert, thank you.
Kendall and Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Governor Mike Braun scheduled to join us in studio. Tony Kennett will call in. And the biggest stories of the day, 93 WIBC.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on OpenSignal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Pat Sullivan here with an offer from my friends at Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling that you don't want to miss. For a limited time, Hope Plumbing will buy back your old air conditioning unit for up to $1,500 with the purchase of a complete heating and cooling system. It's time to call them if you're hot. Don't wait for the next heat wave to be caught sweating at home. Act now before the offer ends. Stay cool and call Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
At Verizon, lock in a low price on the most reliable 5G in Indianapolis and be the best you. Stream your favorite music on your morning commute. Get tickets to that new Blockbuster and save big with Verizon while you do it all. Switch today and pay $50 a month for a single line. That's right, just $50 a month when you bring in your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Stop by your nearest Verizon store today. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Rankings based on root metrics, root score report data 1H 2025. Your results may vary. Additional terms apply.
We play fair in Indiana, but Washington insiders want to cheat. They want taxpayers to spend millions to redraw legislative maps approved just 4 years ago. That's not democracy. It's a power grab, and they're hoping you won't notice. Thankfully, some of our leaders are saying no to D.C. politics. Tell politicians Hoosiers don't cheat. Protect our votes and get back to focusing on our real problems. Join the team at playfairindiana.com. Paid for by Indiana Conservation Voters.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Jeff Chapman here. Your home has a lot of systems. We cover them all. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, and now electrical. Remember the man for all seasons, and now more reasons. Chapman, chapmanheating.com.
More tariffs later, tornadoes possible.
WIBC.com gives you more than just headlines. It's context, updates, and insight. Whether you're at work, on the move, or catching up late, the latest is already there. Stay in the know while you're on the go at WIBC.com.
Well, you got your way. Are you happy?
How did I get my way? Oh, with Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, the logo's back.
Was it really my way?
Well,
I mean, I wasn't out there like, change it back. Whatever. You do you. You want to get rid of Uncle Herschel? I don't know why. He did nothing to anybody.
So
now he's back.
Yesterday we did a brief little research. So if you have just not heard the news, by the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. Cracker Barrel has apparently caved to the public pressure and is now going to go back to the old logo. We did a little research, and I believe Uncle Herschel had been on the Cracker Barrel logo since 1977. So we were at 48 years. Now, the logo had changed a little bit, like with the lettering and some of the artistic stuff around the font, yes. And some of the artistic design in the Cracker Barrel. But the guy, Uncle Herschel or whatever his name is,
the old timer,
been a part of the logo. Here's what's just incredible, and I know we touched on this yesterday. But here's what's incredibly fascinating for this to me. This proves when the public engages in a passionate, committed way, how you can make a difference, and yet we can get it on a logo, but we can't get it on our government.
Right.
Right? Like, I was pondering this, you know how I do with the drives in, where it's just my moment of, like, solace, right? And I was thinking about this last night. Like I was Livy and I and Gabrielle, we went to the baby playground, and we're walking home, and I see this couple, and they're probably, I don't know, I would guess late 60s, early 70s, and they're walking their dog. and they look so happy, right? Like they're golden years. Like
Yeah.
it's a beautiful night in central Indiana, and they're walking their dog. And I'm thinking, it must be nice to be them. Like just to be able to let it go for a minute. And I'm wondering, like, will I ever reach a point where I can allow myself? I hate the government so much, Casey.
Yes.
And I hate these people in it so much that I don't ever see myself. At 70 years old, will I still be doing this? Or will I finally be able to be the
At
nice
peace with
elderly
it?
couple with the dog at any point in my life?
That's why I encourage you to plant a garden in your backyard.
Speaking of the garden.
Something you can do.
Speaking of the garden. So yesterday, Casey, how do we get on this? I forget how.
I just told you that I was jealous of your backyard, and I had an idea for you.
Yeah, you wanted me to plant a garden.
Yeah, because you know what? You've got the space for it, and you've got the time for it. You were complaining.
What time do I have?
Oh, you have time, and you know it.
I have a full-time job. I have a side hustle, and I have a monster. Like what do I have time for?
How many hours a day do you watch your shows?
Well, that's a bit exaggerated. I mean, I do a lot of stuff. Like I do the cleaning and all that other stuff when I get home.
You might have a few minutes of startup time, the planting time.
Yeah.
But once you get that going, you can stand out there or put a sprinkler out.
But then we went through like how much it would cost me and the time and everything else, and I could just go buy a tomato.
But it's not all about that. It's about the opportunity to create some memories for your daughter with her I just know when my daughter was little, and her grandparents had a
here comes
garden.
the Little House on the Prairie speech. Great.
They were in Illinois, and she would love to go and just pick zucchinis and
it's
that
great.
sort of thing in the garden.
I'm glad your
should
kid
do
had a
that.
perfect childhood. That's wonderful.
You could save money on groceries, on your veggies.
It's not going to save me any money by the time all the effort.
What did Farmer Ryan say?
Okay, so here's what so our dear friend Farmer Ryan Schleman, who owns Freedom Foods Indiana, that's our fabulous State House sponsor. He is a farmer in Wolcott, Indiana, which is up by Lafayette. He told me, because I have basically a third of an acre. It's your typical suburban home.
Right.
He said if I turned all of that, now that means I'd have to
all of it.
Like, okay, in order to do that, to get the full third of an acre, because that'd have to be the front yard. That in backyard, I have the big, beautiful tree in the backyard. I'd have to tear my shed down. But if I took the full third of an acre, he said he thinks I could make $5,000 a year in farming that.
See? Look at that. I'm not telling you, though,
But
to
let me
do
repeat
the front yard and the whole entire backyard.
Lady,
It's a little section.
Okay, but the only way to make money on it, according to Farmer Ryan, would be if I did it on the scale, which means, listen to me, lady, I'd have to, the driveway, the American flag in the front yard, the sidewalk.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like, all that would have to go.
I'm not telling you to turn it into a moneymaker. I'm saying that this should be for memories that you can create with your daughter, and you'll have the ability to have some
memories.
vegetables. Yeah.
I can create memories with my
This is going to
kid.
be my legacy for you, Rob
Then
Kendall.
you do it.
I'm going to make you. I will.
There's that weed-grown patch in the.
That's what I'm saying.
In the north. What is that? That'd be the northwest corner.
Use that space.
I'm going to hand that over to you. You can do if you want to grow a garden in the northwest corner of my property. You have my permission to go, but you got to maintain it, plant it, water it, whatever, lady.
Okay.
And you can have half the crops.
Okay. And you're going to love it. You'll have all these.
No, you will love it.
Fresh tomatoes.
I don't care.
What does
you
Lydia
will love
like?
it.
Does she like strawberries?
She likes strawberries.
See?
But the rodents will eat them. All the things from the field behind my house. The little, it's not really a field, it's an open space. But the rodents will get in there and eat it.
That's why you got to block it off.
No, you need to block it off. I'm not doing anything. I'm very busy. You are the one who wants this.
Yeah, I do. I want this for you.
And I'm giving you permission to do it. But don't ask me for anything. Don't even ask me for tools to plant.
Not even a shovel?
Nothing. No, it's on you. I'm giving you. Like,
There's something I can bury in your yard.
Remember didn't the country used to do this? Like where they would give away land to people who would farm the land for a certain period of time or whatever.
This is going to be my little patch.
You may farm that little poison ivy ridden corner of my property, and I'll split the crops with you.
And I'm guessing there's going to be plenty of fertilizer. Make it beautiful.
We have to get back to dumping on these lawmakers when we come back. There was too much nicety in this segment.
Okay. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Has your house become a burden? Why not sell it to us? Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to assist people in difficult situations. Simple Quarters has helped over 3,000 families sell their homes in Indiana.
Wanda's been in real estate. I've been in construction, so she would find properties that we could fix up and resell or rent.
Probably we've flipped about 40 houses. I don't want to do it anymore. Health is not good. We're in our early 80s. Sometimes you have to give it up.
James, he did a good job. James was very cordial and, like I say, responded to our phone calls and kept in contact with us. So he did a good job.
When I got the purchase agreement, and he did have things in there that was pertinent to me. It's important.
Yeah, James followed through on what he said. Did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Other companies make broken promises, but at Simple Quarters, we keep our word. Sell your home to people you can trust. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. 317-900-HOME.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
In the construction business, you're only as good as your tools. That's why Quality Supply and Tool offers DeWalt products like the 20-volt Max XR cordless 3-speed half-inch hammer drill. Buy one and get a 5-amp-hour battery free. That's a $100 value. Or buy two DeWalt 60-volt Max Flex Volt 12-amp-hour batteries and get one free. Only at Quality Supply and Tool and only while supplies last, or September 26th. With locations in West Lafayette, Bloomington, Jeffersonville, and Indianapolis, Quality Supply and Tool thinks outside the box. Store.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers studios, where fire crews responded to separate blazes late last night and early this morning. The charge is being handed down to a well-known area composer arrested last week in Indy, who was left off the Colts' 53-man roster, and how the Fever were able to get back on the winning track in last night's home game. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. Time for Fox News. It's 10 o'clock.
Capitol murder. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Just hours after President Trump rolled out a new Capitol crime deterrent, it happened again.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol, capital punishment. Capital punishment.
But a man was shot and killed in Washington after almost 2 weeks without a homicide in the Capitol. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
That shooting took place in Anacostia in southeast D.C., bringing the total to 102 for the year. D.C.'s murder rate is higher than Chicago's, about 4 times higher than L.A., and 6 times higher than New York. Now, during yesterday's marathon cabinet meeting that stretched for more than 3 hours, President Trump says he wants to bring back the death penalty for anyone convicted of murder in the nation's capital. Trump says Republican House and Senate leaders are working on new legislation to fight crime. Writing Speaker Mike Johnson and Leader John Thune are working with me and other Republicans on a comprehensive crime bill. It's what our country needs, and now more to follow. Make America great again.
And today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announces the federal government is taking over management of the crime-ridden Union Station from Amtrak. President Trump says he's prepared for a court battle over firing a governor of the Federal Reserve for cause.
The president says he's not concerned about a lawsuit to block his removal of Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve Board.
We need people that are 100% above board and it doesn't seem like she was.
President Trump says he has cause to fire Cook because of an allegation of mortgage fraud from the Federal Housing Finance Agency.
Seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction, and especially that infraction.
The president denies his action is related to Cook joining a majority of board members opposed to an interest rate reduction. Her attorney calls the firing unlawful. A statement from the Federal Reserve notes the board's independence, but says it will abide by any court order.
Over claiming 2 houses in 2 states as their primary residence to get better mortgage rates. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Thankfully, no one was hurt. You've got a sunny sky at 64 in the Circle City. Sunny conditions expected all day today, the high 76. I'm Jarrett Lewis for Gutter Helmet. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Fire crews limiting the damage to a home in Brownsburg that caught fire early this morning.
The one thing that we always worry about is, exposures. And so trying to get water on those exposures fairly quick, that's pretty important. But yeah, the crews did a really good job. They were able to get a good knock on the fire.
The Brownsburg Fire Department said the house is in a neighborhood near Eagle Crossing Boulevard and also runs as a daycare. The mother was not home at the time, but her daughter was and was able to get out unscathed. An investigation into what caused the blaze is now active. In Morgan County Tuesday night, a 7,000 square foot barn filled with equipment and hay caught on fire. Firefighters from 6 different departments spent about 3 hours controlling the fire. One firefighter was treated for minor injuries. No one else was hurt. The barn was heavily damaged and is considered a total loss. Ryan Hedrick is at the scene of an oil spill just south of Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
It is a mess right now, and crews from Crystal Clean, a waste management company in Indianapolis, are trying to clean up the oil that went all over the cement, and they're pouring sand on it, sweeping it back and forth, trying to get it to soak up. 10th and Holt here on the west side of Indy is shut down, and Speedway police say it'll be like that for quite some time. The company said they had no comment. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An Indianapolis conductor and composer is now facing charges of possessing child porn and cocaine. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears said on Tuesday that Julian Walkner, who was arrested last week, confessed to using cryptocurrency to purchase child porn. The finance company Robinhood told investigators about some shady things on Walkner's account between August of last year and this February. The Colts putting together their 53-man roster, finalizing it on Tuesday. Cornerback Juju Brents, tight end Jelani Woods, and running back Khalil Herbert among those not making the team. The Colts open the season at home Sunday, September 7th against the Dolphins. And a 95-75 win for the Indiana Fever over the Seattle Storm on Tuesday. Aaliyah Boston led the team in scoring with 27. Odyssey Sims also had 22. Indiana will head to Los Angeles to face the Sparks on Friday. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? If the holes are too big, debris gets in and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, or GutterHelmetIndy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Nothing matters, and what if it did?
Hey, I want to say hi to Mikey, by the way. He sent us a note saying that he's at home with a sick little one, and he's got the Kendall and Casey up on the big screen on the TV. So
good for him.
Yeah, thank you for watching. If you'd like to do that, you can too. Just type in Kendall Casey into your YouTube search bar.
And you can see us right now talk about our buffoon slug Attorney General Todd Rokita, because it's like a daily thing with Todd's. We should have a segment on the show, Todd's ridiculousness.
He put out a note yesterday saying that he strongly supports efforts to move forward with redistricting.
Okay, so think about this. This guy, and it's just like Diego, the chief elections officer. This is the chief law enforcement officer for the state of Indiana, Todd Rokita, advocating. I mean, there is no reason for them to do this, and they kind of tried in the beginning to come up with something, and they couldn't. It was so ridiculous. They're just doing it for purely political purposes. They're further altering voting for purely political purposes. So if you're think about this. We already pay as citizens for these private parties that can't get their act together. The taxpayers subsidize their voting process. That's your government in a nutshell. These two parties that control everything are so inept that they can't run their elections without massive taxpayer subsidies. Like, they don't do it the way the libertarians do, where everybody gets nominated at a convention, costs zero taxpayer dollars, they do it in a weekend, da-da-da-da. They have to have the millions and millions of dollars from you, the taxpayers. So if you're not a Democrat or Republican, you're still subsidizing their private party function. But that's not good enough for them. They have to further rig, which is what they're doing. Like, you can be for the party that's going to benefit, but there'll come a day where you won't. That's what everybody needs to realize. And it won't be too far off unless they can alter these maps again in a couple of years, because you cannot draw all these Marion County people into these swing districts and not expect there's going to be some political price on the long term. Now, I think what they're going to try to do is alter them, and then when the census comes back in again in a couple of years, they'll alter them back as those districts go more blue. But the point in all this is you have the Secretary of State, Diego Morales, who is the chief elections officer, just admitting in a press release, our job is to serve Donald Trump. No, your job is to serve the taxpayers of Indiana, which means administering fair elections, and then may the best person win. That's your job, moron. Not to get on bended knee and kiss the boots of some guy in Washington, D.C. You don't work for him. Now, we all know, well, we don't really know who Diego works for. That's one of the biggest problems with Diego. But he's supposed to be working for us. Now you have, and this is where I come back to, nothing matters and what if it did. Because the takeaway from what's going on, whether it's Jim Lucas or Craig Haggard or now Todd Rokita, is their word means nothing. Everything they've said or told you means nothing. Casey, could you be in a relationship, both in either a romantic relationship or a friendship with someone who you catch lying to you on serious stuff?
Not without a lot of trauma.
Exactly. Yeah. And look at what we have with our elected officials. What do we have? A lot of trauma.
A lot of trauma.
So Todd Rokita, who is supposed to be the chief elections officer, or I'm sorry, chief law enforcement officer of the state of Indiana, now he's basically admitting, well, that we got to do this. We got to further rig the elections in favor of the Republicans, because he can't give you a reason other than I just want what I want, right? There's no, he can't point to like Texas. There's okay. Here's the quote. I am fully committed to ensuring those maps reflect the will of Hoosiers and withstand legal scrutiny. The will of Hoosiers is already being reflected, Mr. Rokita. We have 58% of the people voting for Republicans and 78% of the congressional districts, 70% of the state house seats, 80% of the state Senate seats. We already have that being done. Unless we're just saying because Indiana voted for Trump, there should be no Democrats. Like whoever, if the new rule is going to be whoever wins your state, all the congressional votes go to that person too. I'm done bringing a knife to a gunfight against aggressive, nonstop left-wing tactics. Indiana's all Republican. There are no Democrats, right? All the statewides are Republican. 7 of the 9 House seats are Republican. Both the senators are Republican. Supermajorities in the House and Senate. Everything going on here. Who are these nonstop left-wing tactics that you're talking about?
You're talking about the will of the people. According to that poll, 52% oppose redistricting. And 84% of people found that they just want their lawmakers to focus on real issues, like the cost of living, rather than redistricting convincing.
Okay, here's the end of this quote, and this is very important. It's time to fight on an even playing field. The playing field's already even. You drew the fair maps. We have, or at least we were told they were fair. We already had an even playing field. And secure fair representation for our state. Mr. Rokita, if 58% of the people in your state vote one way, but you have 78% of the representation, is that not fair? Because the majority of people in the state voted one way, should you have every U.S. House seat? You're entitled. You think Marion County is a Republican area? You think Lake County is a Republican area? No, I think the maps are actually pretty good. Now, I do think the 5th is rigged in favor of the Republicans. They did that deliberately, but that happens everywhere. And you didn't hear me saying anything about it until they tried to rig all the districts. You think the region is not a Democrat area? You think Marion County is not a Democrat area? The maps right now are a representation of the state.
The people that are in favor of the redistricting are saying to look at what happened in Iowa, because you had a special election there, and now you have a Democrat who broke the Republican supermajority in Iowa.
Okay, but let's get to what really matters in all of this. It's not people's political views. It's not people selling out. It's the dishonesty. It's the dishonesty of people saying one thing, and it makes a lot of sense, and then for no apparent reason other than political gain, they're willing to change their tune. And I'm not talking about like somebody was on the fence or they hemmed and hawed or there was new information that came to them. It's obvious with people like state representatives Craig Haggard and Jim Lucas. They are wilting. In the case of Craig Haggard, that little coward scared of a podcaster in Arizona. And we all knew with Jim Lucas, we all know what a fraud that guy is, that he was going to change his tune. But I want to play you this audio from Todd Rokita. Because, and we talked about this before, and you'll hear this. The internet is great, man. The internet is forever. Todd Rokita, and I used to consider Todd Rokita a friend. We've posted those photos of us together before, and Todd Rokita was an excellent Secretary of State. That's why it pains me to see what he's become. And I don't know if he suffered a serious head injury or amnesia. Like, I don't know what has happened to this guy. But the guy that exists today is not the guy that I first met. It's not the guy that was an excellent Secretary of State. I had learned to admire Todd Rokita because of the things that he did as Secretary of State. Todd Rokita was very involved. Is the primary reason we have voter ID in the state of Indiana. He was, and that was a big deal when he did that. He was a fine congressman. Something happened to Todd Rokita, though, when he ran for U.S. Senate, and he has never been the same. And we're going to play you this audio. What year is this audio from?
2010.
Is it 2010? Mm-hmm. So this is Todd Rokita talking about the push to ensure that our elections are fair and take politics out of the electoral process because of how important that is. Mm-hmm. And here is Todd Rokita I think he was still Secretary of State when he was. Yeah, in his own words.
I want to be clear, I'm starting a discussion today. I am not proposing lines that have to be followed. I do give examples, concepts of what could have been 10 years ago if we would have followed the criteria that I'm about to outline. First, prohibit the use of political data. By political data, I mean your voting history. The fact that these legislators go in and look to see who you and your neighbors voted for and decide for themselves which one of their districts you should be in.
Pause. And then we got some more we're going to play here. Mm-hmm. You can hate Rob Kendall all you want. You can have whatever opinion on me you want. Casey, is there any conclusion a logical, rational thinking person would come to other than to say what I just read from that press release is in complete contrast with what Todd Rokita said as Secretary of State?
Yeah, he's proposing, and what he just said there, that he was proposing banning the use of political data.
As you should. The districts should be drawn based on population, geographics, all these things you're supposed to take into it. He was making sense right there. That's the guy that I admired. That's the guy that when I met him, I said, this is a guy that more people need to try to be like. And you know what happened to Rokita for that? He got a ton of pushback for that. But once upon a time, he didn't care. Once upon a time, that guy was willing to take the hard choices. Kev, can you play that again? Because I want to everybody hear that again, and then I'm going to read you the statement that he is sending out as Attorney General.
Okay.
This is Todd Rokita as the Secretary of State, who was in charge of elections 15 years ago.
I want to be clear, I'm starting a discussion today. I am not proposing lines that have to be followed. I do give examples, concepts of what could have been 10 years ago if we would have followed the criteria that I'm about to outline. First, prohibit the use of political data. By political data, I mean your voting history. The fact that these legislators go in and look to see who you and your neighbors voted for and decide for themselves which one of their districts you should be in. In a democracy, in this republic, we pick our representatives. They shouldn't pick us.
Pause. Compare and contrast that. And again, you can hate me all you want. I didn't say this. I'm not doing this. I don't have any say in any of this. That was Todd Rokita when he was Secretary of State. Here's him now. I'm done bringing a knife to a gunfight against aggressive, nonstop left-wing tactics. It's time to fight on an even playing field and secure representation for our state.
So he's changed in 15 years. He did say that, he's being consistent with his reform initiatives from when he was the Secretary of State. He says that. I'm consistent with my reform initiatives from when I was Indiana Secretary of State.
On what planet? On what planet does what these lawmakers are doing now, which whatever your opinion on it is, see, we can't even have an honest conversation about what these guys are doing. You may like it. You may say, oh, yeah, California, we got to get even for those guys. Well, here's the deal. If we're going to play by the Rokita, Morales, Andrew Ireland rules, where whatever state your state votes for president, I guess, is who you get in Congress, well, then California just picked up 9.
What's the point of having Congress then?
Exactly.
They're supposed to be the check and balance of the executive
And
department.
they're deliberately supposed to, the districts are supposed to be drawn in a certain fashion so that you have representation of your area, of your community.
No, instead, they're pushing for representation of the White House.
Absolutely. And that's what all this is about. It's a bunch of political people who are too afraid to do what's right. And that's why this conversation is so important, why we keep having it. Because that's what we get to. Take redistricting out of the equation, Casey. This is about people so afraid to stand up for what's right, so afraid of the political ramifications that they will do whatever they're told to do rather than do what's right for you.
And I think we need to point out something, Rob. Who are they being told to do this by? Donald Trump or J.D. Vance? Who is this for? Is this for Donald Trump or is this for J.D. Vance? Heir apparent. J.D. Vance was the one who came to Indianapolis. J.D. Vance was the one who spoke to all of our reps in D.C.
By the way, we got to talk about something that's very interesting that's popped up. Which is what Todd Houston's daughter apparently does.
Oh, right.
Can we talk about that when we come back? Todd Houston is the Speaker of the House, and this is starting to get some publicity, and I think this is super interesting.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The state of Texas can require voter ID for mail-in ballots.
It's not required already.
But Joe Biden got 82 million legal votes, Nigel. If you think otherwise, you might as well put the tinfoil hat on, okay? I don't think it's asking too much to have some sort of proof that you're a legal citizen in your mail-in ballot. Find a way.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414. 800-895-1414.
Hey, quiet, Casey. I'm trying to tell people about Mark Dietel. I had a big script ready to go. Now I got to start all over. Are you ready? Coming down. Restart. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they're getting married, and they're going to need to buy a house. And when those two put their minds together, they're going to need to call my friend Mark Dietel. What are you laughing at? Mark Dietel would be perfect for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to buy a house with. Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest market. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with the people Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce should be using, Mark Dietel. Perhaps you're worried you need costly repairs or upgrades in order to sell your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. See, think how good Travis and Taylor could feel knowing Mark Dietel would just buy their home. Listen to what Luke and Emma in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. We began building our new dream home, and we needed to sell our old place at a great price to pay for it. The Mark Dietel team made it easy with multiple offers in the first weekend and closed in 25 days at the price we wanted. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend. I'd even recommend him to Taylor Swift and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year, or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Make summer nights unforgettable with Indy Decorative Concrete. Get 50% off a stunning fire pit with their best stamped concrete patio package. Offer ends September 1st. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com.
Okay, so I was going to talk about something important like what the Speaker of the House's daughter does and why that should be a kind of a red flag to everybody, or apparently does. But you desperately want to talk about this Taylor Swift thing. Now, for the record, if you hate this segment, let me be as abundantly clear as I can, specific as I can.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this, but Casey is insistent we talk about the Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce engagement.
I know.
Why? Why do you care?
It's the big pop culture story of yesterday, and that's what we do here. We touch on things like that.
Okay, now we've touched on it, but I assume you want to do some deep dive, like...
Okay, let's talk about this. Taylor Swift worth $1.6 billion.
Is that what she's worth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Travis Kelce, $70 million.
Yeah.
What do you think that prenup is going to look like?
Oh, that's a great question. Now, I have a working theory that could be going on here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't her stuff all kind of the same? It's all about, I met a guy.
Guy gets girl, guy loses girl, guy gets girl back.
There were all sorts of red flags. This person had a track record of unstable relationships. I got in with the guy that were all the red flags, and then it didn't work out, and then it was all his fault, and I wrote an album about it. And then my minions harassed the guy in question. That's Taylor Swift MO. It's kind of probably getting stale. What if...
she needs to change it?
She needs to change it up, and the engagement breakup is going to be the new line of Taylor Swift albums. That guy would have to go into the witness protection program if this doesn't work out.
She already announced that she has an album coming out. The pre-orders are already in the millions. Apparently, they got engaged 2 weeks ago, but just released it yesterday with the Instagram photo shoot. By the way, the photo shoot was like $37,000 because they were surrounded by flowers, and it was all beautiful.
So wait. This is the photo of him proposing to her? Well, is it really a surprise if you doctor the whole... Here's my issue. Well, here's one of my issues with this. There's no way he didn't... That wasn't the whole thing wasn't pre-planned, because there's no way, given her worth and his stardom and everything, like he wasn't going to ask her and it was going to be no.
Right. Well,
And
I'm
so,
sure they talked about it.
Yeah, like they knew it was coming. I mean, they've already got this prenup and everything else hammered out. You got to think,
locked
right?
down.
I mean, right? There's no way she's gonna. We'll figure that out later, unless this whole thing is designed to go from the boyfriend breakup to the engagement breakup, the new line of Taylor Swift albums that could sustain her for another 15 years.
I think you should be cheering for them and supporting them. Actually,
Why?
It's best wishes for women and congratulations for men, because she is very influential on so many young women. And wouldn't it be nice? I mean, in one day, you had traditional values on display. Very popular, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce announced they're getting engaged. Obviously, marriage coming, and then you hope children. Isn't that part of the Republican platform? Get married and have kids.
No, with two super libs that are going to indoctrinate those kids into being complete lunatics. You've heard both of them. He's Mr. 9,000 vaccine shots, and we all know what her on-demand abortion politics are. Why would you possibly want those two people to have a bunch of kids? Do you want more of their spawn out in the world than yours? Do you want their kids taken over? Why would you possibly want that, Casey?
Donald Trump was asked about it. Here's what he had to say.
To ask you a serious question, but I have to tell you the biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
I'm serious now.
Donald Trump had nothing negative to say. Didn't call her a nasty woman or anything.
I find it fascinating that you are that into this. Like I think most people they're tired of being force-fed things they don't care about. And the two of them, like it's one to have one insufferable person. Like in my marriage, I'm the insufferable one. My wife is very nice. In your marriage, you're the insufferable one.
What?
Jim is very nice.
No, you're so wrong.
Point is, you can have one, but when you got two and you put them together, the public is just at large. So she's got obviously millions of fans and people that are obsessed over this and blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. But
you don't think that she could spark a baby boom? It's Taylor pregnant. It's Taylor with her baby.
Why do you want super liberal people that want to destroy this country to have a bunch of kids? Exactly.
I don't want...
You know who would be a phenomenal father someday? Jared Lewis.
Yeah.
The news.
Don't put that on him. He's up next. It's 93 WIBC.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call Trajan today at 317-480-4040. That's 317-480-4040.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Addressing the crime crackdown. Skies are sunny at 67 in downtown Indy. Today's high 75. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:30. New numbers showing how Americans feel about President Trump's handling of crime. Fox's Peter Ducey reporting.
The AP has a brand new poll. 81% of adults think that crime is a major problem in this country. And the president's approval rating on crime right now is 53%. That is higher than most other issues. That is higher than his overall approval rating. And so what he's trying to do now is basically turn residents of Chicago against the Chicago mayor and the Illinois governor. He is dangling a solution, National Guard troops, to this problem of dangerous crime. The president posted this. He said, a really deadly weekend in Chicago. 6 dead, 27 hurt, and crime sprees all over the city.
That AP poll also says 55% of U.S. adults say it is completely or somewhat unacceptable for the federal government to seize control of local police departments. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook says she's not resigning despite President Trump claiming he fired her over accusations of mortgage fraud. The president cited his authority under the Constitution and the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 to remove Cook from her position. But Cook says the president has no such authority, and she's suing to block the move. Cook has not actually been charged with any crime. The law only allows the president to remove Fed governors for cause. This comes as the president continues to pressure the Federal Reserve to also lower interest rates. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says that pouches are the safest way to consume nicotine. According to the CDC, more than 28 million Americans smoke cigarettes, and 480,000 people die annually from related illnesses. And Cracker Barrel is scrapping its new logo after intense backlash from customers and investors. The redesign of the logo had removed Uncle Herschel, opting instead for a text-only design. The chain has also redesigned the interior of many of its restaurants for a more modern look. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Pierce Jewelers is the best family-owned jewelry store in Carmel. All jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, and custom design are done in-house. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Join the Home and Garden Show Saturday in Anderson at Anderson Speedway, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. as they preview Saturday evening's Night of Thrills at Anderson Speedway.
All right, you want to play this game, some game, right?
We're not doing that now, are we?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying later, it's such a mom move. You're like, Casey comes in, today we're going to play a game, Rob.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
great.
are. We're going to test your brain.
Okay, but first, we may need to get some photos ready for the milk carton and the post office because we have some politicians that are missing, and we need to find them.
Who's missing?
Well, okay, now let's go back in the time machine a little bit when Governor Dementia patient Braun. Now, the reason we say that is there's no way he is just a pathological liar and would lie about all the things he's lied about.
No.
So the only thing,
Your government would never lie to you.
the only logical thing that could be going on here is the governor of Indiana is suffering from serious mental decline and needs to be evaluated in some swift shape, form, or fashion to find out exactly what a diagnosis and treatment plan would be. Because I refuse to believe that my governor would be just a pathological, stone-cold liar over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But when Governor Dementia patient told me at the state party headquarters, they called me over there like it was like meeting with the mob or something, that he was going to screw 7 million people and sign off on this property tax bill. I told him, I said, well, you better get ready, Bal, because I said, you're about to unleash a fury of these school referendums across the state. And if some of these districts are smart, because the Mensa members, the way you Mensa members write laws, anything they do before July the 1st, they'll basically be home free on, and they can get around your little laws that you're crafting. And one of the things that they had put in the legislation was to move these referendums to even years, try to boost turnout. And I said, I said, what are these communities supposed to do when these referendums start everywhere that don't have them? The current system has them, where they don't have to have them, whatever. And the governor then at one point proceeded to inform me that he would go knock on doors in communities.
Sure.
Places that are having referendums. And I looked at Josh Kelly, his brainless chief of staff, and Micah was there, and Micah's chief of staff was there. And I said, y'all recording this?
Right.
He just said he's going to
knock on doors.
He's going to go to communities that are having referendums and knock on doors.
Right.
And then, a week or two later, I don't know what it was, Micah was on our show and said, unless I'm suffering from my own amnesia, and said that he would also knock on doors.
Right.
You recall that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So both the governor and lieutenant governor have pledged with witnesses to knock on doors.
To defeat referendums.
Right. And so right here in central Indiana, there's one of these sneak school districts that's too gutless to do things the right way and go to the even years. And so Avon is having a referendum.
Yep. They approved that back in July.
Yeah. What'd we say? They said that these school districts will catch on, that it's going to be harder to pass them in the even years, so they will sprint to get these done. And so we have a big fan of our show who lives in Avon, who let me know that he has made multiple attempts, I believe now both verbal and written, to get in touch with the governor and lieutenant governor on when he can book them
to go knock on doors.
Yes, and I had said, look, if Braun and Micah are going to go knock on the doors, I will join them. You let me know the date and the time. What a powerhouse trio that would be!
Right,
and I would even show them how to do it. I got a little track record of success on defeating the school referendums. And this guy said, this is going to shock you, Casey.
Yeah, he
can't get a response. From Braun or Micah.
Really?
Yeah, I can't get a date, a time, commitment. Can't get any of that from Braun or from Micah to do what they promised to do, which was go knock on the doors to defeat the Avon school referendum.
So no response at all. Do we?
Well, so he described it as I believe runaround was the word that he used. I don't think he got anything from Braun's office, and then he said lieutenant governor's office. I think runaround was the word that he used. I'll pull that up here, and just I don't want to misquote him. So anyway, if someone knows where the lieutenant governor is, we haven't seen any public sighting of him in several days, which has me.
His chief of staff was in Washington on his behalf.
Yeah, he missed something really important must be going on with him, because he missed a chance to go to the White House, and we all know he loves to go places and do things. So. Maybe I don't know where he's at or what he's doing, but it's very unusual he hasn't taken a photo op in the last several days either. But anyway, if someone knows where they are and could track them down, please let them know Mitchell, a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen of the Avon School District, is desperately trying to get through to them so that they can fulfill their pledge that they made to me and others that they would knock on doors to defeat the school referendum.
Yeah, so Avon, they approved that one back in 2018, and they said they knew that they were going to have to do it again in 26, but the legislature changed the rules of the referendum, so now they got to do it in November.
Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I mean, next step is going to be I'm going to get them on a milk carton. Has anybody seen Braun or Micah? I mean, no doubt they would totally not have just said something.
Well, I'm sure soon enough Governor Braun will show up on Fox News, right? Because he does that often.
Yeah, or maybe I could ask Hammer if he'll ask Braun when he's going to, because you said he was on today. Is that right?
That's what I heard. That's what the promo said.
Oh, well then yeah, maybe Hammer could ask him today if he'll go knock on the doors in Avon.
Right.
Yeah.
But where the lieutenant governor is.
Oh yeah, no,
not quite sure about that.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so. You want to wait to play the game. What is this game we're going to play?
We're going to play 5 and 10.
What is that?
It's to get your brain going. We'll give you...
Get my brain going? I do a 3-hour radio show. You don't think my brain is already going?
Yeah, we need to make sure.
What do I do? What's the game, Mom?
It's
Today we're going to play a fun little game. All you little children are going to gather around, and we're going to play a game called 5 and 10, which I used to play when I was a little girl. Get the brain juices flowing. What is the 5 and 10?
give you a category, and you have to name 5 things within that category in 10 seconds.
So if you were like cereal, I could be like...
You just want to play now? Are you
No,
ready to
I'm
go?
just trying to make sure I understand the rules of the game, so I don't have to ask you when we get to the game.
Mhm.
Like if you said cereal, I could say Cheerios, Wheaties, Count Chocula, Raisin Bran, Cocoa Puffs.
Right, exactly. That's it.
Oh.
But you've got 5 categories to get through, and they will get progressively harder. It's like $25,000 pyramid, to advance.
Well, you're going way back.
Yeah, you have to get the previous category correct.
Isn't it wild that $25,000 isn't even that much money anymore? Like when it was out, when that game was out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. And now you're just like, really? I wouldn't even waste my time to go try to win that game. All right. Well, I guess we'll take a break then. And Hammer's going to join us next. And there'll be lots of fun and frivolity going on.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, Cracker Barrel changes their logo back. And what's Trump's new take on Russia and Ukraine? After the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of, why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Don't let that summer job go again because you don't have the right tools. At Quality Supply and Tool, now through September 26th, or while supplies last, there's a huge DeWalt sale going on. Buy select 20-volt bare tools and get a free 5-amp-hour battery. That's a $100 value. Buy a DeWalt 4-in-1 or 5-in-1 Tough System modular workstation and get 2 2-drawer units free. That's more than a $200 value. Quality Supply and Tool has locations in Jeffersonville, Bloomington, West Lafayette, and South Harding Street in Indy. And Quality Supply and Tool thinks outside the box store.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel all this week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts Saturday, August 30th at Ruoff Music Center.
He's one half of the #1 rated afternoon show in the city of Indianapolis. His name is Jason Hammer. Hammer, hello.
At Gambling Stuff. That is the handle for the Degenerates Next Door sports betting podcast. A big one coming tomorrow, Rob. Just an awesome slate of Week 1 games. You and I will drop that pod tomorrow around 1 o'clock.
Do you have any leanings one way or the other? Notre Dame, Miami, Texas, Ohio State, Rob?
I think, and you and I had this conversation yesterday, and I hate to do this, but you can't. What's Jeffrey Tambor says in what's the
Hangover?
The Hangover. You never walk away from the table when you're on a heater.
Correct.
I mean, I'm on an under heater right now, and I hate the unders because I hate cheering for defense. That under's at 47.5 in that Texas-Ohio State game. I know that sounds like a small number, but those dudes can play some defense. This is not going to be just like, video game offense going on here. I kind of feel like the under is not a bad number, and the under is 50.5, I think, in the Notre Dame Miami game. I'm intrigued by that number too,
because Notre Dame likes to run the ball and burn the clock up a little bit.
That's right, and their defense is very good. So I don't know. I'm leaning under. It just feels like I hate watching a game and being miserable while I'm watching it, though.
Hey, speaking of being miserable, how about the justice system here in Central Indy, here in Marion County? Great segue there, Rob. I woke up in a great mood today. It's like, all right, windows are open. It kind of feels a little fall-like. I kind of like this. And I got a text that says, remember Judge Stoner, one of the most activist, woke, pieces of crap judges in all of Central Indy.
Yes.
Most soft on crime, zero eunuch that we had to offer.
Yeah.
We thought he was done. We thought he was retired. But I got a text today, and I think Angela Ganot's now posting about this as well. He's what's being called a senior judge here. So in the event that there's not a judge available in Marion County to, go soft on a violent repeat offender, they're going to bring in the captain, old Mark Stoner, Judge Stoner, who's been responsible for going soft on some of the biggest pieces of crap Indianapolis has ever had to offer. It's like, you can't get rid of these people. They're cockroaches. You thought you were done with Judge Stoner, and lo and behold, here he comes back. It's so frustrating because, again, Casey, you live here. I live here. People are talking about Chicago right now.
Yeah.
Should Trump bring the feds into Chicago? What's going on there? Okay, Chicago may have its issues. I'm not saying that it doesn't. But you do realize, per capita, Indianapolis has more violent crime and homicides than Chicago.
Right. And it's really saying something when you look at these lists of all these cities, St. Louis and Baltimore and then Indianapolis.
Right.
Indianapolis is a large market. These other ones are major markets.
The FOP president, Rick Snyder, joined us yesterday. And as of yesterday, so far this year, Indianapolis is outpacing Chicago in homicides per capita by 17%. 17%. Not one, not two. That's a big number.
Yeah.
And the problem that we're going to encounter, and we talked about this yesterday. Go back and listen to that podcast. D.C. is different because Trump was able to bring in special prosecutor Judge Jeanine, and she can be tough on these people that are taken into custody. Okay, let's say police arrest somebody in Chicago or Indianapolis. Guess what happens?
Right.
You've got woke activist judges like Mark Stoner or just worthless, just pieces of crap prosecutors like Ryan Mears. They're going to turn their back and just let these lunatics back out on the streets because they feel like, well, this is a shot at Trump. The prosecutor in Marion County, Ryan Mears, this guy is such a zero, even Joe Hogsett doesn't like him. Let that sink in a little bit. Joe Hogsett wants this guy to be a little tougher on crime. I didn't think that was possible.
Don't get me going on Hogsett. He ruined my commute in this morning.
Uh-oh, pothole?
I can't.
Was he passed out drunk in the street?
It's not even the potholes.
Did you have to avoid Joe laying in the road?
It's the entire
Dawn,
length.
where is my automobile?
Automobile.
Joe, where is my automobile?
I just can't even with the entire drive-in is under construction. All of Washington, from the second I leave my house to I pull into the parking garage here.
Yeah.
Phones everywhere. And the fact that there's one part on Washington right before you get to Capitol where everything merges down into one lane. There's no arrows. There's no flashing lights telling you to get over. It's everybody just piling up and you got to force your way over. And why does nobody know how to zipper merge? Like you're supposed, every other one, let people go. It was just, I live 5 minutes away, Hammer. It took me 35 minutes to get into work.
I'm well aware because it's all under construction at the same time.
All at the same time.
We joke about this every day. Rob, if you can, peek through that blind. Is anybody working on the Soldiers and Sailors Monument? Because this thing's been under construction for about 3 years now.
There's a bunch of guys just standing around.
Okay, there's people standing around. I was told there was some sort of ordinance where they have to stop working by 3. I don't know if that's true or not.
Wait, what?
Somebody emailed us and said, a downtown Monument Circle ordinance says they have to stop working by like 3.
Why would that? That's not like you
maybe
can go,
full of crap. I don't know.
It's not like you can go up on the thing.
But we have been curious, is anybody working at any other parts of the day? Because this thing's been under construction for like 3 years. Everything in the city, from Joe Hogsett's leadership to Ryan Mears, soft on crime, bald-ass Ryan Mears, letting these losers back out on the street. Everything stinks right now. We look like Detroit. And Detroit sucks, but I hate looking out at Monument Circle and seeing years and years of construction around the monument, homeless dudes peeing left and right. We got homeless encampments, and all of this started...
that were supposed to go away that are still there.
Right. What happened to that? And all of this started right around the same time that Joe Hogsett decided he wanted to rebrand himself to be one of these super leftist lunatics so he could get in the good graces of the party. But the problem is he's such a dumpster fire of a person that the party, the Democrats, who are perfectly fine with people like Jamal Bowman and AOC, look at Joe Hogsett and go, boy, this guy's a trash bag. We're not going to pick that up. No, thank you. That's why he's going to run for mayor again. He can't get another job.
I mean, people said that budget hearing that he looked like a guy who was going to run again, and you hit the nail on the head. What else can he do?
Right. Like, I don't know if he had a prenup and the divorce. Is this like when Ryan Sandberg had to come back to baseball, the I Need Money tour post-divorce? I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he wants to bring in a new crop of interns to allegedly harass. I don't know, but the problem is that dude's going to win with 60%.
Here's what I can't figure out is what leverage does he have overall? Like, so if you're a Mears or you're a Vop Osley, are you going to wait 4 more years and be subservient to this dude again? Why wouldn't you just unleash the beast on this guy? You know, they know what the dirt is, and just let everybody know who he is.
Now, are you sure Vop Osley and Joe Hogsett are 2 different people? Because every time I've seen Vop Osley's nose, it's attached to the anus of Joe Hogsett. That guy's one of the great butt sniffers in this city. Anything Joe Hogsett wants, Vop Osley is quick to run around. Yes, boss, you got it. You want me to kick out that accuser from the council meeting? Allegedly. We're going to do that for you. I mean, these people are scumbags. And the thing is, Ryan Mears is worse. The prosecutor, the guy that's supposed to be putting bad guys away. You shouldn't really know the political background of your prosecutor. Like Terry Curry was his predecessor. He was a Democrat. But nobody really knew. He just did his job. Then Ballhead McGee comes in here. Look, I'm wearing Jordans. I'm doing a basketball camp. You're also letting violent repeat offenders back out time after time again.
Yeah, if Hogsett runs again, I'm pushing our old pal Indy Reporter to run for mayor on the Republican side because whoever it is going to lose anyway.
So just have some fun with it.
Yeah, like I mean, the weak ass Shreve, he had $20 million. What'd you get out of that? I am if indeed it is Hogsett running again. I feel the only person who can. I mean, let's just make it a dumpster fire. Let's let Steven run, and we'll just burn the whole thing to the ground in the process. You're going to lose. Let's have fun losing.
If my contract is not renewed, which is coming up, and I got nothing else to do,
will you run?
I'll run.
Okay.
Yeah! Could you imagine the debate
Hammer
on
for
television?
mayor.
Could you imagine the debate on television? Like, I know the most moderators are total butt sniffers. I would bring up the things you would want to hear.
Yeah. Well, you would call the moderator a butt sniffer. That's why I like that.
Especially if it's Dan Spieler. That guy. Ugh. Hey, can you imagine if Channel 13 finally brings me back in the building? I'd be like Mr. T looking for Siegel. Hey, woman! Hey, woman! Just yelling at him across the room.
Would you seriously do that if you're, if for some reason you were not that there's any reason they wouldn't renew you. They're lucky to have you around here. Or at least that's my public statement.
I think so, too. We do pretty well around here.
Would you ever seriously consider doing that?
Like, if I had nothing else going on, yes. Like, if I don't have a job, I'm like, you know what? I need something to pass the time here. Let's at least flame these dudes publicly.
I feel like maybe that was Hogsett's thinking as well. I got nothing else to do.
Right. Nobody else will hire me.
Well, but that's the problem is the Republicans in this city are so weak. How could you have $20 million or whatever it was that Shreve had and not just unleash on Joe Hogsett, which tells you Shreve didn't really actually want to be mayor. He was just gearing up to buy the congressional seat. But it's just so pathetic how weak the Marion County Republicans are.
State of Indiana Republicans, really. I mean, you look at the State House. The reason we don't have movement on property tax is because of Rod Bray and Todd Houston, those guys. Like when you had your property tax rally, very successful at the State House, the leader of the Senate, Rod Bray, was more upset that we were, counteracting his birthday in the mariachi band. And, hey, Andrew Ireland, you better not wear green, even though your last name is Ireland and
it's St. Patrick's Day.
It's St. Patrick's Day!
Speaking of Ireland, he's going to be with us tomorrow. He's going to show Diego Morales how this transparency thing works. He's going to bring his receipts to show that he paid for the trip to Washington and what he actually paid for. So we're going to have him in here tomorrow. You got a big show coming up today, don't you?
Governor Braun scheduled to be joining us.
That's a fast turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah. 5:30 today. Is he going to call a special session for redistricting? And based on that answer, we'll have follow-ups.
Hey, can you ask him about property taxes?
When you going to ask him about property taxes? Says Avon guy that doesn't wipe his butt. So we got that coming up 5:30 today. Tony Kennett will join us at some point. Tickets to give away for Billy Idol and Joan Jett.
You had a run-in with Billy Idol years ago, didn't you?
I did. I was the promotions director at ZPL. He did one of our holiday shows. It was an Uncle Sam jam. Comes right off the stage. He's sweaty. I hand him a towel. Billy Idol, true story, looks at me. Oi, where are the hard drugs at?
Oh, wow. And did you point him in the right direction?
Like, Billy,
Oh, wow. And did you point him in the right direction?
Like, Billy, I got some beers on ice over there. I could probably get you some weed if you give me a few minutes. But other than that, buddy, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
What game are you playing to give away the tickets? Do you know? Have you decided yet?
So we're going to play Billy Idol or Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh.
So caller number 9 today will have their chance to win tickets by playing Billy Idol or Billy Bob Thornton.
All right, thank you, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
Make summer nights unforgettable with Indy Decorative Concrete. Get 50% off a stunning fire pit with their best stamped concrete patio package. Offer ends September 1st. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com. Join the Home and Garden Show Saturday in Anderson at Anderson Speedway, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. as they preview Saturday evening's Night of Thrills at Anderson Speedway.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers studios, where investigations are underway into a house and barn fire. New police arrested in connection to a bar fight from earlier this month that caused an oil spill in Speedway this morning, and who's been cut or released from the Colts roster in the 53-man finalized roster. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. A mass shooting at a Catholic school in Minnesota. I'm Lisa Brady. It happened at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis, which has a school for pre-K through 8th grade students, where the school year just began on Monday. Fox 9 in Minneapolis reporting that students were in a weekly morning mass at the time of the shooting. They're also reporting that the shooter is dead. No confirmation. Fox's CB Cotton has more.
I want to go to some really disturbing details from the Star Tribune. This is a big publication in Minneapolis who says multiple people who live in the area reported hearing a lengthy burst of gunfire. Some people told the outlet that they heard so many shots fired off. They thought work was being done on nearby homes. And this outlet is also saying police are currently escorting parents and children to the school's basement. They've seen people crying, running towards the scene. So just, a tragedy that's currently unfolding here in Minneapolis.
There's no confirmation yet on how many people are hurt or killed, but casualties are reported. The FBI heading to the scene in addition to all of the first responders already there. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz calls it a horrific act of violence and says he's praying for kids and teachers whose first week of school was marred. Just moments ago, many students and staff started to walk out of the building, perhaps an indication of a stable scene. Police have said the shooter is contained. Again, Fox 9 reporting the shooter is dead. President Trump just posting he has been fully briefed on the tragic shooting in Minneapolis, adding that the FBI quickly responded. The president says the White House will continue to monitor this terrible situation. He's asking people to join him in praying for everyone involved. Again, at this point, we're just awaiting confirmation on how many students or staff may be hurt in Minneapolis. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Waking up to the house on fire. Skies are sunny. It's 67 on Monument Circle. 76 will be the high today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:02. An early morning fire damaging a home and business in Brownsburg. Johnette Cruz has more.
Emergency crews responded to an early morning fire that broke out in Brownsburg. The Brownsburg Fire Department were called to a home on Ballard Drive right around 3 a.m., a place that is also listed as a location of the Clover Kids Preschool. A daughter inside the house woke up to the sound of breaking glass and was able to safely escape and call 911.
They were able to get a good knock on the fire, get the exposures taken care of.
That's the Brownsburg Fire Department. Firefighters spent over 2 hours extinguishing the flames, which caused damage to the home's roof and floor. The daughter's mother and brother were not harmed in the incident. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A barn in Morgan County caught on fire Tuesday night and was badly damaged. Firefighters from 6 different departments spent about 3 hours getting the flames under control. The 7,000 square foot building full of hay and equipment was already partially collapsing when crews arrived. One firefighter was treated for minor injuries. No one else was hurt. Indianapolis police arresting a man in connection with a bar fight from earlier this month that left another man in critical condition. Officers say 37-year-old Terrence Lambert was taken into custody on Tuesday. He's facing a charge of aggravated battery. An oil spill in Speedway this morning. Ryan Hedrick was at the scene.
The spill happened right before 7 o'clock near Crystal Clean in Indianapolis, a waste management company. Leaders there say it was a tanker truck that dropped oil all over the road. Now crews are picking it up. 10th and Holt on the west side of Indy is shut down right now, say Speedway police. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC. Mobile News.
The Indiana Fever picking up a win at home last night after suffering 2 straight losses, beating Seattle 95-75. Odyssey Sims, who hasn't been with the team for too long, she had a big night, finishing with 22 points.
Want to just stay aggressive and just do the little things. Come in, just continue to be an energy player, try my best to just do the best I can. I have great teammates around me that's going to continue to uplift me, so that helps me too.
Leah Boston led the way with 27 points. The Fever will travel to L.A. this week to take on the Sparks Friday. And some tough decisions having to be made at the Colts complex in Indianapolis Tuesday. Among the players either cut or released, cornerback Juju Brents, tight end Jelani Woods, as well as wide receiver Laquan Treadwell and quarterback Jason Bean. Game 1 for the Colts in just over a week against the Dolphins. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So the anger over the data centers is growing. The government is showing no signs of stopping. We're all going to get big time screwed. And there is a fascinating new piece out in the Indy Star from friend of the show, Jacob Stewart, detailing, going through the process of how the data center is being approved in Franklin Township, which is the Google data center.
Yeah.
And the problem with government, period.
So on August 20th, the Metropolitan Development Commission, they voted to rezone 467 acres of farmland in Franklin Township for that data center. 8 of the 9 unelected commission members, they voted in favor of it. You only had one person dissent. However, there were more than 100 residents who attended this meeting, and they had a really large petition of people opposing the project.
4,500 people. All right, so let me explain how this works. And the problem with Indianapolis is a little different in terms of how the structure of the government works. So this may be a little bit of minutia here, but it's important to the conversation. So like in Brownsburg where I live, the planning commission can make a recommendation, and the council can accept it or reject it, right? Ultimately, the buck stops with them. In Indianapolis, when this group, the Metropolitan Development Commission, makes a recommendation, it then takes 60% of the city councils, not 50% plus one. It's 60% of a 25-person city council to override their recommendation. So they have a lot more power in Indianapolis than a lot of municipal planning commissions might have. So right now, I think there's been I can't remember how many. There have been a whole bunch on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, city, county councilors who have come out against this proposal. But they still need several more because of that 60% threshold. And what Jacob Stewart is saying in this piece, and it's an interesting piece, you can go read it over at Indy Star, is you clearly have a community who the government is supposed to represent who is against this. I mean, 4,500 signatures is a lot of signatures. Getting 100 people to show up for anything is a monumental task. There are not that many people going, gimme, gimme, gimme on the data center. And so you have an unelected group of people clearly ignoring the will of the greater community. And then because of the way the system is set up, now you've got to do a monumental heavy lift, which is get 60% of the counselors to override something.
Yeah, exactly. So it does seem like it skews a lot of the decisions in favor of the corporations. Now, you did have City County Councilor Michael Paul Hart, whose district includes the project site, and he says that he plans to propose a motion to reject the rezoning on September 8th.
So one of the things, and we talked about, because this is all being facilitated through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and it comes back to what we talked about yesterday with the Democrats not being able to put the insanity down long enough to take the freebies that are in front of them. Look, there are wholesale made for issues in front of the Democrats if they can get out of their own way next year. The data centers, major issue. Indian Economic Development Corporation, the shadow government, major issue. Skyrocketing utility bills, major issue. Rising property taxes, major issue. Gas tax, major issue. Corruption or perceived corruption, perceived unethical or actual unethical behavior coming from the Republican Party. We laid out just a complete dumpster fire 2, 3, and 4. The Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, who will be on the ballot next year, and Attorney General. All of these things are made for TV ads, mailers, conversation pieces. But in order to put that stuff front and center, you got to put the crazy down, and more importantly, you got to put the crazy candidates down who will get off of all abortion all the time, get off of the talking about little kids chopping off their penises, all of these things that don't resonate with anyone. And unfortunately, I don't think the Democrats are going to be able to do it. And it's a detriment to all of us, because we should want the Democrats to start winning some elections to try to hold these Republicans accountable, because right now they don't fear anyone. Now, look, this is Marion County. It's a different story, but I'm saying Republicans because it's being facilitated through the Indian Economic Development Corporation, which is run by Republicans.
So you had mentioned utility costs rising, and AES is proposing a rate hike. So they want to do a 7.5% increase next year, and then an additional 6% increase in 2027. And the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, they're hosting 4 public field hearings to get input from people. There's one tonight at Fort Harrison State Park. They say that attendees, they're encouraged to arrive 15 minutes early for this meeting, this public hearing. And I'm thinking, I see this, and I'm thinking to myself, it is a beautiful day.
Are you AES?
Yeah.
So this is you.
Yeah. It's a beautiful evening here, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be sunny and 75 degrees this evening, and they're having this public hearing. Who is going to go to that to say, no, we don't want the rate hike? And then AES is going to turn around, or the IURC is going to turn around. Well, nobody showed up to the meeting to say no.
Well,
of course the answer's no.
But this is okay, you hit on a great thing, which is this is how government operates. And look, don't kid yourself. I mean, I get that the utilities in most cases are for-profit companies, but they exist. They operate with the express written consent and permission of the government. They're basically in a partnership together. And this is what government does. And look, I'm going to see it tomorrow night, in which I've got to go to a meeting where we've got to beg our town fathers over there in Warehouseburg to not go down a path of spending $100 million on a pool, on an aquatic center, amphitheater, rec center, that less than 100 people in town, despite them literally begging for people to say, yes, we want this, they could only get less than 100 people to say they want it. But this is my point. It never stops. Like, and one of the people on the council the other night, their excuse for the poor participation was, I think people are just exhausted with this. Yes, we're exhausted by keep telling you no. 2 years ago, we told you no. Right. What was the reason then? Yeah. You know who wants it? You. You and a very, very loud uber minority of people. You know what? On Facebook, that's it. These people have had infinite opportunities to show up, and they don't. And yet, here we are, doing it again. So, yes, you're right, Casey. This is what they do. They wear you down, they wear you down, they wear you down, they wear you down. You know what people want? They want to afford living.
Right.
You know what people want from their government?
Cheaper stuff and more freedom.
Roads, bridges, sidewalks, the toilets to flush, the water to flow, the police and the firemen to show up if you need them. Like, that's the basic functions of government. Like, I went for a walk last night, and it takes like an hour to get around the high school campus now. And we have 2 football fields. Did you know this?
Yeah.
1 football field wasn't enough.
Yeah.
We now have 2 football fields. I will put the Brownsburg High School campus up against any small campus in this state.
It's a Brownsburg Community College.
And you tell me that what we have in Brownsburg isn't as nice or nicer than small colleges. And yet, you're led to believe with the 2 football fields, the multiple field houses, the varsity gymnasium that's nicer than most small colleges, the campus itself. I mean, yet you're led to believe that somehow if you got property tax reform, if these people had to make any sort of alteration to their existence, that you would somehow be harming children in some shape. This is my point. It's never stopping. And we ultimately, we only have ourselves to blame because we elect these people. They don't exist on a elected official farm. They don't, the seed doesn't grow out of the ground. We have allowed this to go on, and for whatever reason, we have just largely lost our will to fight, and government knows that they can outlast you. They know they can defeat you. And so whether it's the data centers, whether it's the thing that I have to go deal with tomorrow night,
the aquatic center. Mm-hmm.
No, not just an aquatic center. Somehow rec center and amphitheater got thrown into the equation.
Oh.
It's not good enough that 2 years ago we said we don't want the aquatic center. Then they said, well, we'll show you.
You don't want the aquatic center, but how about a rec center?
Here's a rec center and an amphitheater.
Well, and then throw in an amphitheater. Does that change your mind?
I asked that question last meeting. I said, how the hell did this get thrown into the plan? At no point 2 years ago where we were talking about anything but an aquatic center, which we rejected. Right. And now somehow, even though we rejected that, you said, oh, we know what you want.
You want more
stuff. You want more stuff.
You want more.
But we have the problem is there are very, very few people who actively engage, and the government knows that the risk of doing what they want, there is a very small risk that people will engage enough for there to be any sort of punishment. And that's why you see all this stuff happening.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Here to stay. You've probably spent more time outside, mowing the lawn, weed whipping, or watering your garden. Have you noticed cracks in your exterior walls, bricks, or concrete? Are there gaps between your door frames or window sills? These are clear warning signs of foundation problems. If you notice any of these in your home, it's time for Indiana Foundation Services experts to come out and identify your home's issue at the source. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection with a no-obligation quote included. Don't wait any longer. Early detection and timely repairs can help prevent further damage to your home's foundation and ensure its long-term stability and safety. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection with a no-obligation quote included. That's IndianaFoundation.com. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414. 800-895-1414.
Attention, if you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. And using your FSA or HSA funds, you could save up to 30% off. To find out if you're a viable candidate, request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-348-2596. Instead of masking the symptoms, it resolves the problem at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Find out if you're a viable candidate today. Request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics, 463-348-2596, 463-348-2596.
Okay, you're the voice of reason on this program.
Yeah, sometimes.
So I'm going to need you to help me on whether this is a big deal, a medium deal, no deal, because it's been brought to my attention by multiple people. And that is that apparently Todd Houston, who is the Republican Speaker of the House, who also apparently got some one-on-one, well, two-on-one call to the principal's office with his old buddy Rod Bray, the pro tem of Indiana Senate, with the president yesterday.
Right.
It has come to my attention that his daughter works in the Trump administration.
So Indiana's Speaker of the House, Todd Houston's daughter.
That's correct. And that what is she? She's in the, is it in the communications?
I believe so. Isn't she a deputy assistant for Carolyn Levitt?
Is that what she is? Okay, I see her quoted in these various articles, and there's a post of her with Todd Houston in Washington, and it says, my favorite visitors at work today, and it says, here we go. It says, I'm happy to share that I'm starting a new position as assistant press secretary at the White House.
There you go.
So, look, anybody can work wherever they want. You ever notice, with these high political people, it's never like, I'm pleased to start my new job as a manager at the local Wendy's. It's always some political position, which fine, this person can do whatever they want to do. But, okay, that's kind of a red flag, or am I just totally wrong to think it's a red flag, that she's working for Trump, and then her dad has got to make a decision on something very important that would involve having to stand up to and go against Donald Trump.
Right. So he's in the position to say, well, if I don't want to do this in Indiana, now I'm putting my daughter in a bad position with her job.
Right. So to me, I don't think in any way, shape, or form that we think that Indiana's going to get a fair shake if this guy's kid, which clearly, obviously, he's a hyper-political person, and, I don't know. I mean, am I just, making something out of nothing? Do I have a right to be concerned about this? You are the voice of reason on this show.
Yeah.
Case, tell me what.
It does seem like it potentially poses somewhat of a conflict of interest. Because if he's against the idea, he might go ahead and do it to protect his daughter. I'm not surprised in the fact that she works there. And, it's very nepotistic,
Go on. As you like to say more words, Casey, say more words.
It's relationships. So obviously, she's been around these people growing up. And the fact that she's involved in politics doesn't surprise me. It's part of her upbringing. So she just took that to the next level. And most likely, because of relationships that her father had, introduced her to people who could get her in that position. So that doesn't surprise me that she does that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the fact that now Houston might be in the position to choose what he wants versus what Donald Trump wants, and Donald Trump also has his card over his head.
Okay, all right. I just thought we'd throw that out there.
Settle it for you?
No, I think it's a fair conversation to have, and I think it's something that people do need to be aware of. I don't think anybody's making any accusations related to anything. I'm just saying you need to know who your elected people are and who their family members are working for, especially I think in this case is relevant to the conversation.
All right, you ready to get your brain going?
Oh, how exciting. What are we doing?
Okay, this is 5 and 10.
Okay, very good.
I'm going to give you a category, and you have 10 seconds. And within those 10 seconds, you have to name 5 things within that category.
Oh, okay. So, if you told me U.S. presidents, I would say Trump, Bush, Obama, Clinton, Biden.
Yep.
Right, whatever.
You got to do it in 10 seconds.
Okay,
You've
very
got
good.
5 different categories. These are going to get progressively harder.
My brain
as we
doesn't
go.
work very quick, so I'm guessing I'll be lucky to get out of one of these rounds.
I've got the bell here.
Oh, how
To
exciting.
let you know when time is up.
All
and
right.
I am timing you.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
I love how you're like, it's gone from, this is
Mhm.
great. With Casey, she came in this morning, we're going to play a fun game together. It'll be great. To now, I'm timing you. Ding.
That's right. We're down to business here.
Yeah, okay, very good.
Your first category,
Yes.
holidays.
Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day.
5.4 seconds. Very nice. Okay. Your next category, restaurants.
Arby's, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, Taco Bell.
4.9 seconds. You're actually improving with this. This is fantastic. I haven't had to ring the bell once. This is 5 and 10.
All right, wait a
with
second.
Rob
I'm
Kendall.
confused. When do I go? Do I start when I just start naming things?
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like a go or whatever. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Your next category, Notre Dame things.
Irish touchdown, Jesus, football goal, football, Newt Rockney.
6.5 seconds. Okay. This one is right up your alley. Taxes in Indiana.
High, out of control, helping the establishment, lobbyists, and donors.
That was 8.2. I was actually talking about specific taxes.
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
you
I'm
pay
sorry.
in Indiana. Redo that
Oh,
category.
you want to do it? I'm
Ready?
sorry.
Yeah.
I did. Sorry. Okay. So what was the topic?
Specific taxes that you pay as an Indiana resident. Go.
Okay, gas tax, wheel tax, property tax, income tax, and let's see here. Shoot, what were the 4 I said?
Come on!
What were the 4 I said? I lost my train of thought. Property tax, income tax, gas tax, wheel tax, and utility tax, sales tax, whatever. That was a bad question.
That was the one I thought you would get for sure.
Yeah.
All right, last category.
Yeah.
Don't let me down. You're really not supposed to advance if we're playing by $25,000
Well, go, thank
Fairmont
God,
rules.
we're done. No, we're done.
Nope,
We're
nope,
over. I lost. This is great.
We've prepped this out. Here's your last category. Redeem yourself right now, Rob Kendall. 5 and 10. Last category. Indiana state reps.
You just want me to name the state reps right now? Okay, Ireland, Haggard, Thompson, Sturwald, Cash. I made it.
That was 13 seconds. We let it go.
Well, Sparks and Cash look exactly the same, and they're the same area, so I got those two confused.
I'm glad you're thinking this morning. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is zero and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Everybody knows Hubler's got the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles. But did you know? Now you can get that same limited powertrain warranty on new Toyotas. Introducing the all-new Hubler Toyota. Get grand opening savings all month long. And right now, lease a new 2025 RAV4, just $349 per month. Or a new Tacoma, $299 per month. Plus, choose from Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, and more.
Hubler's got you covered.
At the all-new Hubler Toyota on US 31 South in Indianapolis. Visit HublerToyota.com. Grand opening savings and the best warranty around. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Cover me.
Select models, approved credit, plus tax tag title license 249 dealer doc. RAV4 model 4432, Tacoma model 7540. 36 months, $29.99 due, 0 security, 10,000 annual miles, 15 cents per mile thereafter. Expires 9/1.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A few fires and an oil spill. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 11:30. An early morning fire hitting a home in the Brownsburg area.
They were able to get a good knock on the fire, get the exposures taken care of, so minimize damage as much as possible.
The Brownsburg Fire Department was called to the scene at around 3 a.m. this morning. No injuries were reported. A barn in Morgan County is considered a total loss after catching on fire at around 9 o'clock last night. At least 6 fire departments responded. An oil spill in Speedway is forcing a closure at 10th Street and Holt Road. A tanker truck dropped oil all over the road this morning. And the Fever are back on the winning track after defeating Seattle last night, 95-75. They currently hold the 6th best record in the WNBA, and next will travel to L.A. to take on the Sparks Friday. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob. September the 18th, there's a big event going on at the Lucas Estate, and we've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again. It's really important. It's something I really support. It's Project Rescue. It's a big event. Life Church partnering with Project Rescue to help stamp out human sex trafficking across the globe. And I'll tell you what, we've talked about it before with the Epstein stuff that's going on. It's easy to get focused on the big picture stuff, but human sex trafficking, very real. It's going on not just in this country, but in our state. And Life Church would love the opportunity to introduce you to Project Rescue. To learn more and to register for this big event, just log on to their website, lifechurchin.com. Big event, September the 18th at the Lucas Estate.
Buying a diamond has changed. There are mined and lab-grown diamonds. Pierce Jewelers carries both. Pierce can educate you and save your hard-earned money. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Okay, so there's a new poll out on Trump. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, this is a new Gallup poll, and it covers quite a few things, but it overall talks about his job approval rating, and right now he's sitting at 40%.
That doesn't sound great. It sounds under 50.
He peaked at 43% earlier this year, but it has declined slightly, obviously, since then.
So 40% of Americans are approving of the job Trump is doing. Look, and this is where I think Trump's personality makes it very hard for him to ever coalition build. And what I mean by that is it's not a mistake. I don't think you would ever be able to get through to him, where both times Trump has won the presidency, a huge part of his victory was people voting against the alternative, both with Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris.
Rather than voting for something, they were voting against something.
And I think that, now look, I think there were quite a few shenanigans that happened in 2020. I think we've talked about the mass mail-in unaccountable voting. You can't think that you can just mail ballots to people and not know who fills them out or sends them back or whatever and think that it's going to be on the up and up. But I think one of the reasons Biden did better against Trump is, and look, we've talked to people here who said this. I have a ton of anecdotal evidence in my own backyard of Indiana. I know many people who felt this way. I don't feel this way, but people who did, who they saw Biden. Now it quickly got debunked, right? When you saw the guy was totally beholden to crazy people and didn't have his faculties about him. But people, because of the media, saw Biden as this moderate, calm, stabilizing force where, hey, he won't be too extreme, but we'll get some semblance of statesmanhood and normalcy back to the presidency. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not saying I felt that way, but I'm telling you, and I've told the story numerous times, it's a kid that used to work here who was a very, very reasonable person and was an identified Republican and goes to work each day. And I asked him who he's going to vote for in 2020. He goes, I haven't decided yet. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, I like a lot of Trump's policies. I hate how he handles the presidency. And he goes, in my mind, the presidency should have a certain level of decorum and statesmanhood and all this. And Trump just felt had belittled, for lack of a better term, the presidency. Now, you and I go, Bill Clinton has entered the chat. Thank you.
Right.
But it does, like, these people vote, right? And so with Trump, he's incapable of coalition building because he is so deliberately toxic with his personality. That's the phrase I would use with Trump, is he is deliberately toxic. And when you're an elected person, you have to be able to find ways to get people to yes. Or you're going to be in a position where many people just won't listen to what you have to say. And with Trump, he has chosen a path that everything's going to be a confrontation, and he's been somewhat successful with that. Certainly, he's won the election twice. He's been able to get some things done. But you can't think that the public is going to buy, the public at large. When we know how unengaged the general public is, right? We're just talking about the data centers and the electric bill meeting and how, the town council meetings and how hard it is to get people engaged. You can't think that those people are going to have a good perception of you if that's all you've given them to go on.
Is his idea of coalition building inviting people to the Oval Office and saying you really need to do this?
Well, but that's not the public at large. You're not getting the public at large to buy in. You're trying to strong arm a bunch of Republican legislators, in our case, to do what you want. See, getting the public buy-in would be making the case. You would take them to them and go, look, A, B, and C has happened. We believe this has caused error or harm or whatever upon you. The problem he has with the maps is you have control of everything. How can you claim the system is rigged against you when you are winning inside the system? And that is a question they cannot answer. And so the big bullcrap bill is a great example of this. Everybody knows, no matter what sales job is presented to them, that there's just a bunch of crony capitalistic, donor, lobbyist, special interest giveaways in that thing. That's why it adds so much to the debt. It's legalized vote buying. It's picking winners and losers. Trump did a horrible job selling this because they just kept throwing things at the end. Oh, hey, Alaska senator, right? We need your vote, so we'll exempt Alaska from all these things that everybody else had to play by. People are going to see that, and they're going to reject you. Now, some anonymous guy in our YouTube chat, and I knew somebody would do this, which is why I made the point. It's always somebody without a name or a photo, right? Rob calling somebody deliberately toxic. That's rich. I'm a radio broadcaster. I'm not the president. When I was an elected official and nobody cut more taxes than me as a local elected official, I was not deliberately toxic. Now, I didn't take people's crap. I would push back on people if people wanted to have a conversation, but I was able to coalition build. It's why I got out of it. I don't want to have to be nice to people I don't like. I didn't want to have to go to somebody and care about their feelings if I thought they were being ridiculous. Yeah, I am here and I'm damn entertaining at it. But I also don't want to be an elected person anymore. It's part of why I don't want to do it anymore. It's why I want all the people, you should run for this or governor that. No, because I don't want to have to play that game. And to be good at politics, to be good at creating an environment where you can not only get your things passed, but get public buy-in, you've got to handle it in a different way than I do or Trump does.
Well, one thing that Trump is definitely handling differently is his openness to the media. He had a cabinet meeting yesterday, lasted 3 hours and 17 minutes, and he had the media there the entire time. I mean, that's more engagement than you ever got with the Biden administration in one day.
Sure. Okay. But here's an example. I was listening. I don't know if this was Tony's show or what it was. It must have been Tony's show because I was coming home from work. And they're playing this press conference of him, and I joined it mid-thing, so I don't know the whole background on it. But he's somehow talking about the automobile industry. And it's, the Teamsters guy, I saw him on TV, and he was being so nice to me, and he used to not be nice to me, and all the Teamsters people, they all voted for me, and they all blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's you, and you're the best, and you're this, and you've won somebody, and it's just like, That is exhausting to people. And that's fine if you don't care about anything. You're just doing a lift myself up routine. That's great. Whatever. It's, it's funny. Like I'm driving down the road. I'm chuckling as I'm listening to it because I know what he's doing and it's humorous to me. But you're not going to convince people of whatever the thing is by just continually telling them how great you are. I'm sorry. Like it's just it's when you if the presidency is such a powerful position and you have such an ability to do so many things that I hate seeing when things don't get accomplished or they don't get accomplished to the level they could be because you won't check your personality or your ego at the door.
You got to filter through the personality to look at the policy.
Right. And people can't and are not willing to do that. And so that's why, to bring all this full circle, this is why you find the guy at 40%. It's with Trump, there's so much more than just his policies, which is too bad, because while there's certainly things I don't agree with, there are a lot of policies that he has that I think have been beneficial to the country. I think the immigration stuff, I think the foreign policy is much better.
Okay, well, let's look at these. We've got numbers for that. For the economy, he's got a 37% approval rating, which is down 5 points from February, and it is the lowest since this year.
Yeah, and that makes sense. The economy is no better under Trump. I don't think, I mean, do you look at anything and go, oh my gosh, it's so much better because Trump and his new policies are here?
No.
I don't think an average person, if you can eliminate the names Biden and Trump, if you just showed them the data on the economy or how they're personally feeling or personally experiencing things, when we go to the grocery store, we talk about it all the time.
Well, and in some cases it's worse.
You're right.
The tariffs.
Right. If we're being honest with these, things are more expensive. Okay, very good. I would buy that. Okay, go ahead. What?
The other one is foreign affairs, 39% approval rating. And they also did a measurement on education, which was the first time they've measured his approval rating on education so far this term. And he's at 38%.
Okay, so other than the border and immigration, which he gets great marks on, is there anything going on right now that you say, well, if it weren't for Trump, we'd be much worse off? I'm not asking to be facetious. I'm not trying to, I'm genuinely curious. Like, I can tell you when you talk about immigration. Now, he's got a major problem with, like, all these people that are still coming in from China and India and these HB1 visa people and all this other stuff. That's a major issue. But I'm saying in terms of, I would say immigration is much better. Is there anything in this country right now that you would say, other than immigration, if Trump weren't here, we'd be so much worse off?
Well, I think he's trying to address crime. And
Wait, no. In Washington, D.C.
Right.
President has no impact on crime.
Elsewhere,
Elsewhere, right.
If nothing else, he's bringing more attention to it.
Okay, so I think you could say it's Washington, D.C. is probably safer. How does that help you?
Well, when I visit there.
Okay, I'm saying you personally in your day-to-day existence. Like, how does it help you?
Well, it doesn't.
Exactly.
Other than it's, being talked about more. How about the Maha movement? Now, are you going to give Trump that credit for that, or is that RFK Jr.?
Well, but how do we know? I mean, none of it's even taken effect yet. Like, okay, your red dye number 89.
It's definitely more awareness. Doesn't that count for something?
But more awareness on what? Red dye 89's out of the Skittles?
For people to try and move more.
What is the actual
healthier?
Yeah, but what is the health movement in this country? What is it? I mean, they're doing these things, but do you see a slew of people out exercising that weren't before, or hitting your local gymnasium? No, I mean, they're doing things and it's fine. I'm not trying to be difficult with this, but what I'm trying to say is there's just nothing. I'm not surprised his approval rating is this low, because other than immigration, which is a split issue anyway, there's just not anything Trump's doing. Everybody knows what that big bullcrap bill is. The politicians can lie to you. They can spin it. They can, deep down that it was nothing, because that's what giant monstrosity bills always end up as these big giveaways that benefit the tippy top people, and you get nothing or next to nothing out of it.
So listen to this partisan divide on this. 93% of Republicans approve of Trump, and only 1% of Democrats
Wait. No. See, this is the problem. People believe what they want to believe. I'm not trying to cut you off. There's somebody in the YouTube chat that said gas prices are much cheaper. That's not true at all. Let's see. gas is what, $3.40 now or something like that? What were gas prices?
Gas Buddy said that there was a refinery outage that caused some increases temporarily.
Yeah, but I'm saying, okay, so let's just say, but I'm saying on average, gas is $3.09, $3.10, $3.10.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I don't recall gas being $5 a gallon at the first of this year. Okay, on January 1, the national average for price of gas was $3.06 to $3.08. So it's unchanged. There's nothing going on that's making gas much cheaper. It's like we're paying $2 a gallon for gas now. In your mind, because Trump talks about drilling and all that other stuff, maybe you've convinced yourself, but the statistical data shows no, it's not.
Kevin, can you play number 4? If you can find that. So this is something that, maybe he believes it. Do you have it?
The wages for blue-collar workers are now rising at the fastest rate in 60 years, which is so important to all of us around this table. The average American worker has already seen a $500 wage increase this year, and there's no inflation because there's been decreases, tremendous decreases with, thanks to Doug and Chris and some of the people, the great job they've done with energy. Thank you very much. And Chris, thank you very much. I see you down close to $60 a barrel, and you'll be breaking that pretty soon. And that has a huge impact. So we have groceries are down. Energy is way down. Energy is way down. It was $4 and $5 for a gallon of gas. Think of that for gasoline. And now it's probably $2.25. There are some places it's $2. It broke $2 at a couple of locations. And
what planet is he living on?
Right.
Where is this gas at?
Well, it's definitely not here in Indiana.
I mean, look, that's what I'm saying. Like, the food is not cheaper. Inflation is not down. Is it as high as it was in 2022? No. But that's insulting to people. See, this is why he can't move forward. Because people hear that. I almost said it. They go, bull crap. That's insulting to me because I have to go grocery shopping once a week. I know when's the last time you went grocery shopping, Donald Trump? Seriously, when do you think the last time Donald Trump went to a supermarket and had to work his way through the aisles?
No.
When do you think this is the last time?
Maybe a concession stand at a golf course.
Right, or the gas station. When do you think he's actually pulled up and put a credit card in and paid? See, this is and then, like, again, I get people want to like the guy and they're invested in him and everything, and that's great. But that stuff just really alienates, especially people in the middle, because, like, sir, that's not true. That is not happening. One thing that is happening, though, Casey, is that our Attorney General could be in big trouble.
Abdul is going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Governor Mike Braun scheduled to join us in studio. Tony Kennett will call in. And the biggest stories of the day, 93 WIBC.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while. Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Oh, let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine, and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Join the Home and Garden Show live this Saturday from 9 till 1 at Anderson Speedway, where they'll preview Saturday night's Night of Thrills. Get thrilled to the max with figure 8 racing, Prairie Farms trailer races, and more.
Baby, what a big surprise. Right before my very eyes.
So the Attorney General could be in trouble, and that's a win for humanity. It's Kendall Casey Show. Rob Casey's here. Look who it is. Author, broadcaster, provocateur, sworn nemesis of the Attorney General, Todd Rokita. Abdul-Hakim Shabazz, hello.
I am the Clark Kent to his Lex Luthor, but then again, that's an insult to Lex Luthor. So.
Okay, so, obviously we've covered this in depth. Just very quickly, most people are aware, but for those who aren't, Todd Rokita, the Attorney General, is currently finding himself for a second time in front of the Indiana State Disciplinary Commission that polices attorneys, and this is related to him basically making statements that appear to be in contrast with an agreement he signed with the court over statements he had made on Fox News. And this matters because this group has the ability to yank his law license, and if they choose to yank his law license, he cannot be the Attorney General in the state of Indiana. I talked about this with Casey. I am totally biased on this. I think the guy's a complete buffoon. I think he has no business being the Attorney General. I think he's a horrible person to be in that position because you should have non-political people as the chief law enforcement officer for the state of Indiana. He is wholly political. However, I always thought he was going to, find a way to weasel his way out of it. But after the other day when this 3-judge panel that will help decide his fate denied basically all of his requests to delay and get more information and said, we will see you on such and such a day. We'll see
you in December.
We highly suggest you consider mediation and some sort of settlement. I think for the first time this dude could be in real trouble. What say you?
I've thought about this from day one, and my position has been consistent on day one, is that Todd can't keep his mouth shut, and he always has to get attention, and I can respect that to a certain degree. However, I don't say things that put my law license in jeopardy. I mean, what you have to go through to get a law license to begin with is hard enough. You got to go, law school, bar exams, the whole character fitness, the whole 9 yards. And why you would jeopardize that over basically 30 seconds of years of hard work. And who's the village idiot now?
Well, yes. So for those who don't know, Todd called Abdul and myself on a recent appearance with the Hammer and Nigel the village idiots, which is fine. He can not like us, but not liking us doesn't change the facts on the ground, which is this 3-judge panel, 2 of which were appointed by Republicans that will help decide his fate. They are not messing around with this, and the public might, brush this aside. There is a real chance, not saying it's going to happen, but a real chance they could recommend to the state Supreme Court that he have his law license removed because they're so sick of dealing with this guy. And if he does, the governor could have to appoint a new Attorney General.
And the other thing, too, is what I don't think Mr. Akita fully appreciates is the first time he got away with it, but with a 3-2 decision.
That's right. So let me real quick just explain. So this disciplinary commission, it was a hearing officer then, I believe.
Yeah.
Now it's this 3-judge panel. The state Supreme Court set this up to try to take away any claims of bias or I'm a victim or whatever, which is another, if you're reading the tea leaves on how state Supreme Court feels about Mr. Rokita. The state Supreme Court, upon the plea agreement, for lack of a better term, it was a 3-2 vote to accept it. There were 2 judges who, again, if you're reading the tea leaves, didn't feel this was strong enough. And now you're going to give this group another bite at the apple. If you're Todd Rokita, why would you have done that?
Exactly. And I've known all the justices for years, really good people of great character, great integrity. They leave their personal biases aside and apply the law and the facts. But I could just see in their private chambers, I told you so. I told you this was going to happen. And now here we are. Now let's apply the law. Let's do our jobs as judges. But just want to let you guys know, I told you this was going to happen, and it did.
So this 3-judge panel, which is set up by the state Supreme Court, which will make a recommendation to them. There are 2 Republican judges who have been appointed by Republicans, 1 who is appointed by a Democrat. 2 of them are currently, I believe, on the state Court of Appeals. one Democrat, one Republican, and then a former federal magistrate as well. So they've set this date for December 18th. They basically said, this is going down. Be there, be square. They've set up the time frame by which all this stuff has to be submitted. They have given both this panel and the state Supreme Court appear to have strongly urged Mr. Rokita to settle this case, but I just cannot see Todd going in with his ego and who he is and going, I'll accept a month's suspension or whatever in order to keep the law. I just can't see him doing that.
Here's what this reminds me of, and I gotta go a little bit of a tangent here. Back in the early days, back in like 2006, 2007, when things were kind of getting out of control, that second Saturday Night Event at Black Expo because the knuckleheads were coming out. One thing that a guy named Bill Benjamin, he was an IMPD officer, would do.
Played for the Colts.
Yeah. What he would do is they go to the guy's house. Hey, how's it going? You know what? You may want to go out of town this weekend and go visit your cousin down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because I don't think downtown's where you want to be. And in a nutshell, to a certain degree, that's kind of what the Supreme Court said. It's like, you may want to mediate this because we'll let you make the decision yourself because you don't want us to make that decision.
And I just can't see it. Again, anything could happen, right? Obviously, this Supreme Court look at it, this three-judge panel later, oh, hey, nothing happened here, everybody go home. But I just cannot see, given who he is, he being Rokita, the way he just craves conflict. And you know what some of these people think of him, and that they're just going to let him skedoodle out the door with anything that isn't at least a suspension of some sort, because that's what Curtis Hill got.
Because here's the thing, but I don't think people fully appreciate. We're not debating what you said, because you said it, you did it, it's on the record, several times. We're just arguing. We're arguing over the shape of the table.
Well,
right
that's what's so important, because in this latest round of filings that this three-judge panel rejected, Rokita was trying to get discovery and all these other things, and they said, there's nothing that needs to be discovered. You signed this document, which says this. You made these statements afterwards, which says that, and we gotta square all that up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we're looking at here.
Yeah, all this other stuff. First Amendment, goodbye. Slap statute, goodbye. None of that matters. This is what we're focusing on, and that's the end of the discussion. Now, I can see Rokita still trying to maneuver his way into, this is the First Amendment. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Rokita. Motion denied. Click.
Yeah, well, and let's touch on that real quick, because one of the things I see and there's a lot of people who just will twist themselves into whatever mental pretzel they want. Well, his First Amendment right, he can say, no, you can't. The same way as I cannot come on here on these radio airwaves and say a whole bunch of words.
7 of them in particular.
Well, it changes right over time, right? But there are standards to which words I cannot do, things I cannot say, that I accept in order to be on these airwaves. Now, I can walk down to outside of 40 Monument Circle, where we're at right now, and I can say whatever I want on that sidewalk, and it's fine. But I accept that in order to the privilege, the right to be in the club, to be here. Same thing with being an attorney. Expand on this. It's the same thing with being an attorney. You don't have to have a law license. And in order to have a law license in this state, there are rules you agree to abide by in terms of your behavior. And if you don't want to do that, then don't be an attorney.
And by the way, you took a class on this too when you were in law school. Ethics and professional conduct. There are certain things that lawyers cannot do. Now, you give up your law license or, retire, you can go say and do whatever you want within reason. But by the way, even the First Amendment has limits on it, as some people are finding out right now.
Sure, but he could have, if Todd Rokita were a senator or a congressman, he could have gone on Fox News and said exactly what he said about that abortion doctor, which is what got him in the hot water to begin with, and there would have been no problem with it. He has the right to say the things he said. I don't even disagree with a lot of the things he said. But the point is, you're the Attorney General. You're the chief law enforcement officer for the state of Indiana. You are an attorney. There are rules you have to abide by, and so you don't get to say the things you get to say if you're not an attorney.
Exactly. Plain and simple.
It's really simple.
It's called a license.
Yes. Thank you very, very much.
It's like you don't have a right to drive. You have a license to drive.
Right. If you do certain things, they will yank away your license to drive an automobile. Okay, very good. You can find him over at indypolitics.org. Abdullah Keep thank you.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us today. Thank you to Kevin and Casey as well. Great job. And most importantly, thank you to you, the listener. Without you, there is no us. Stick around. Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Shop incredible end-of-summer savings at the Scandinavian Designs Labor Day sale. For a limited time, take up to 70% off select modern furniture and decor for every room in your home, including living room, bedroom, dining room, and more. This is the perfect opportunity to get your space prepped for the party season ahead. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com. Scandinavian Designs. We make it simple, you make it home.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up. We live about 2 blocks from here. I was on a call. All the windows of our home were open.
Emergency crews responded to an early morning fire that
people don't wake up and just want to be homeless.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
A shooting at a Catholic school.
Sunshine and 70 right now in the Circle City. Today's high 76. I'm Jarrett Lewis.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at noon.
Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary.
That is Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry. He just spoke minutes ago about a shooting that happened this morning at Annunciation Catholic Church and School in Minneapolis. This man spoke to reporters right after the shooting.
So all the parents were on the left side, and so he was on the left side. So there must have been sporadic gunfire going on. He said it looked like just a normal Sunday mass. So it was full, of people and children.
And with more details on this story, here's Fox News reporter CB Cotton.
The Annunciation Church in South Minneapolis, where this is all unfolding, has a school for students who are in kindergarten through 8th grade. And, the Fox affiliate says that school indeed started on Monday, which makes this really, really heartbreaking. The Fox affiliate also reports that Mass is on Wednesdays at 8:15 local time there, and students were reportedly in Mass at the time of this shooting. A reunification zone has already been set up for families of children at the school. First responders are on scene are urging families to go to that reunification zone if they have questions.
And we are just being told that 2 children have been killed, 14 others injured, and the person believed to be behind the shooting is also dead.
An early morning fire causing damage to a home and a business in Brownsburg. Janet Cruz has the details.
Emergency crews responded to an early morning fire that broke out in Brownsburg. The Brownsburg Fire Department were called to a home on Ballard Drive right around 3 a.m., a place that is also listed as a location of the Clover Kids Preschool. A daughter inside the house woke up to the sound of breaking glass and was able to safely escape and call 911.
They were able to get a good knock on the fire, get the exposures taken care of.
That's the Brownsburg Fire Department. Firefighters spent over 2 hours extinguishing the flames, which caused damage to the home's roof and floor. The daughter's mother and brother were not harmed in the incident. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
In Morgan County Tuesday night, a 7,000 square foot building burned with equipment and hay inside. Firefighters from 6